step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
We don't even know what moves these are, but these are the moves that we are starting the show with this morning, welcoming you to another bright, beautiful day on your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso on SABC3. Get in here, guys. How's it going, everyone?
Good.
Feeling good?
All good.
Yeah.
Excellent, and I hope that it's the same for you at home.
And if you're wondering what day of the week it is, let's just remind you it is Wednesday. And on Wednesdays, we do all about the parenting advice. And this morning, we're focusing on, if you're a parent and you have a highly sensitive child, how to, really stimulate them and make sure that they are comfortable in their environment. So we will be joined by Talia Ressel, who is a family therapist and social worker.
Yeah, I think one good way of doing that is by playing them very soothing and calming music. And when it comes to our guest artist today, she certainly fits into that box. Her jazz sounds, when they flow, just really get you in the spirit of things. Nomfundo Kaluva joins us for a live performance on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Always so great having her here.
Stuns. Then we take it to the kitchen, and I have to say this quickly before I even forget what the name is. It's just such a long one. It's bone and sirloin with piccalilli butter. I mean, if that's not already setting your appetite on fire, then something's wrong. You need to get it checked out, all right?
Maybe your appetite's been like, what is piccalilli butter? Maybe I shouldn't get too excited.
Exciting things. And then it's also National Video Game Day, in case you were wondering. And we're going to be meeting a 16-year-old game developer. So we'll be picking his brain. In fact, we'll be introducing you to this young gentleman this morning.
At 16 years old, already developing your own games.
Insane.
Things are changing up. Beats the days of pushing bricks around and pretending they were cars.
And wheelbarrows, I mean, hello.
There was imagination in that. All right, but let's get the day underway and take a look at the headlines. Good morning, Leanne.
Oh, good morning, team, and good morning to you at home. Let's take a look at what's happening in the news. The police service has a deficit of 62,000 officers. National Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Kehla Sitole said yesterday when he and Police Minister Bheki Cele presented the alarming crime statistics for 2017 and 2018 in Parliament. Cele said South Africa has lost the United Nations norm of policing, which requires one police officer to serve every 220 citizens. Currently, there are about 190,000 police officers to serve a population of some 57 million, including the estimated 11 million undocumented immigrants. Cele said the greater community also needs to take a stand against crime. President Cyril Ramaphosa says that he will testify with a great deal of pleasure before the Commission of Inquiry into State Capture if he is also called to give testimony. Ramaphosa was answering a question from DAMP Kathleen Labuskaghni in the National Council of Provinces yesterday. Ramaphosa says no one should hide any information that can help the inquiry. He said it is important that the people of South Africa get to know exactly what was happening in the country. Anyone that has something to put forward to the Zondo Commission should never hide. Now moving further abroad, Zimbabwe has declared a cholera outbreak in the capital Harare after 20 people succumbed to the disease and more than 2,000 were infected by drinking contaminated water. New Health Minister Obadiah Moyo said yesterday. Harare City Council has struggled to supply water to some suburbs for more than a decade, forcing residents to rely on water from open wells and community boreholes. Zimbabwe suffered its biggest cholera outbreak in 2008 at the height of an economic crisis, when more than 4,000 people died and some 40,000 were treated after being infected. And then finally, an overcrowded bus plunged into a gorge in southern India yesterday, killing at least 55 people and injuring several more in one of the worst such accidents this year, authorities said. The driver lost control and the bus skidded off the road and toppled into the gorge. The Prime Minister said that he was anguished by the loss of lives and described the accident as shocking beyond words. India has the world's deadliest roads, with almost 150,000 people killed in accidents in 2016, the latest government data shows. Well, that was your 6 o'clock news update. Let's get our very first look at what's happening in the world of sport. Graham has those details.
Thank you so much, and a good morning from my side as well. We open on a very dramatic note this morning in football. Kaizer Chiefs have been found guilty by a PSL disciplinary committee for fan violence that took place during the Nedbank Cup semi-finals back in April. Fans, of course, stormed the pitch in the dying minutes of the game when Chiefs were 2-0 down against Free State Stars at the Moses Mabhida Stadium. So as punishment, Chiefs will play 3 of their matches behind closed doors, with one of the games being suspended for a 24-month period, which could be very costly. And staying with the beautiful game, a little further afield, Spain have claimed back-to-back wins in the UEFA Nations League as they crushed Croatia by 6-0 in Alicante last night, with Spain already 3-0 up in the first half. The match was all but decided, however. It got worse for the 2018 World Cup runners-up Croatia as the 2010 World Cup champions scored another 3 in the second 45. In other results, Belgium beat Iceland 3-0, while Hungary just edged out Greece 2-1. Then on to Formula One. 2007 World Formula One champion Kimi Räikkönen will leave Ferrari at the end of the 2018 season to rejoin Sauber. The 38-year-old will finish his second stint with Ferrari after 5 years and will be replaced by 20-year-old Charles Leclerc, who is currently with the Sauber team. So both Räikkönen and Leclerc will be in action this coming weekend at the Marina Bay circuit at the iconic Singapore Grand Prix. And that's where we leave our sport for now.
Well, let's get your morning underway by taking a look at what to expect in your temperatures today. And a big thank you for sending through your beautiful sunrise photos. This morning's one is from Jock Knutzer from our hometown in Amanzimtoti, Durban. And if you're in Toti today, you can expect a maximum of 27 degrees and some warm conditions. But let's take a look at the rest of your temperatures across the country, starting off in Polokwane. Your minimum for today is 10 and your maximum 29. Mbombela 13, 34. Warm conditions in Pretoria, a low of 11, a high of 27. Johannesburg 926, Mahikeng 6 with a high of 30. Klerksdorp 629, Kimberley 326, Bloemfontein 1 reaching a high of 25 degrees. It's sunny in Richards Bay today, 17 with a high of 31. Pietermaritzburg 8 with a high of 31. Durban 1727, Mthatha 9 with a high of 28. East London 12 with a high of 22, Cradock 323, Port Elizabeth partly cloudy 11 with a high of 19. George 10 reaching a high of 18, Sutherland 1 with a high of 14. Rain is expected today in Cape Town, a low of 12, a high of 15. Worcester 8, 16. Springboks 3 with a high of 18, and sunny conditions in Uppington, a low of 6 and a high of 24 degrees Celsius. That's where I leave your weather. We'll have another update for you in half an hour.
Oh yes, well, happy Wednesday to you if nobody said it to you yet at the start of a brand new one. Of course, we live in a world that is constantly changing, moving so quickly, so we want to pump the brakes a little bit as we welcome the 12th of September and reflect on what happened on this day in history. What makes it historic, Tubbs?
Correct. I mean, the year 2000 was a big one. We all thought the world was ending, but
True.
Holland passed a law legalizing same-gender marriages, adoptions and divorces, a big step in the LGBTQI community that side. So
Absolutely.
really wonderful stuff there.
Absolutely. Also, historically, in 1992, Mae Jemison became the first African-American woman to go into space aboard the Endeavour STS-47, and there she is.
Wow.
Wow, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, a woman of fortitude.
Absolutely.
You strike a woman, you strike a rock.
In space.
In space.
How about this last one then?
This
in
last one, the
1981.
Smurfs.
Yeah, take us back to
1981.
Yeah.
Iconic Hanna-Barbera animated cartoon series, The Smurfs, first broadcasted on this day. Wow.
Can you believe it?
I can't believe it was 1981.
And it didn't even look like this back then. This is more modern.
Yeah, this is definitely quite 3D.
More emo-braided. Well, that's our bite-sized dose of history. You go out there, seize this day and make it one for the books.
Well, we are taking a very quick break on your Feel Good Breakfast show. When we get back, it's parenting advice. Talia Ressel, she joins us for that conversation. And it's all about how to parent a highly sensitive child.
Oh, I love that. And I know there are scales of, but a very interesting discussion. Then we're going to introduce you to a young person that is doing something truly incredible. I've had my eyes opened recently to how much is happening in the gaming world here in South Africa. We have young game developers that are making it, and we're going to introduce you to one young superstar. We'll see you in a moment.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your feel-good breakfast show, the Expresso show on SABC3. It's Wednesday, hump day, and we've asked you on our social media, how will you be saying good morning differently today? Hashtag Baker's Good Morning Challenge by Baker's Biscuits. Now, Nathan Paul says, morning guys, I'll say eita or mora with a high 10. And yeah, my awesome smile, guys. Hashtag Baker's Good Morning Challenge. Baker's. Colin Eddie says, good morning, Expresso. I just say away and a big hug to start their morning off well. Have a great day. And Guy Tulikungwane says, voila. And here's someone else who's just definitely going to be giving us a very smooth one this morning, saying, Donovan Drebo Solomon saying, I will say good morning with a handshake. Just like a handshake. Good morning. And that's it. Let us know on our Facebook how you will be saying good morning differently today.
So we know that parenting is no easy task, but how much more challenging can it be to raise a highly sensitive child? This morning, we are joined in our studio by one of our favorites, family therapist and social worker, Talia Ressel, to share some insight and wisdom into this unique personality trait. Talia, great to have you.
Thank you.
I took a deep breath because I think I'm one of those that when we talk about ADD, when we start dishing out classifications of a child, there is always a big danger that someone is going to start self-diagnosing, is going to turn to Google, is going to start painting their child with a particular brush without fully understanding what it means. So I think the most important thing here is to set it out in black and white. How do you, as a professional, classify a highly sensitive child in an HSC?
HSC, right. So a highly sensitive child is not just, we're not talking about a crybaby here. We're talking about somebody who, it's a very real genetic thing. They are born with this nature where they are highly attuned. Their nervous system is much more sensitive to what is going on around them. And we're talking about 20% of the population, so 1 in 5. And it's really misunderstood. By being highly sensitive, it means you're picking up on the nuances, you're noticing more, you're thinking more, processing more, and just more attentive. And I also just want to say, it doesn't mean that the rest of us are not sensitive, meaning, you know, just,
in a different way. It sounds like you're describing a highly intelligent child. When you talk about a lot of those traits, those are things that we also associate with someone that is developing mentally very quickly.
Yes, look, there will be a more mature outlook. Often they'll pick up on things that other children may have totally missed on, but it doesn't necessarily apply to intelligence only. It's about all aspects of their being.
I'm sure there are a lot of parents out there going, aha, now I understand. So what necessarily should we look out for within our child's behavior to know, okay, this is probably where we stand? So
one of the best ways I describe to parents is you get the orchid and you get the dandelion. And most kids are dandelions. They grow wherever, however, they just have this resilience. Now the orchid child, the more highly sensitive child, is the one who needs optimal environment. They're more temperamental, so they need things to fit, to be just right for them. And if that works, they bloom into the most beautiful orchid. It's like some behind you, but you know, should the environment not be right, that's when you see these meltdowns and your temper tantrums. So parents need to look out. The child that notices the tiniest little details, if I've moved something in the room, they pick up on that. If you say something to them, and 6 months later, they're like, but you said, and they can remember to the detail. Also asking big questions, sort of more mature for their age, thinking about very serious topics and what that means. And then also the child that gets overwhelmed very easily, sensitive to noise, to light, to taste, to the cold, to the label on their clothing, just a high sensitivity.
As a parent, and I know we're going to luckily have another opportunity to continue the conversation, but as a parent, what are the major challenges then that we face? Because I know children are emotional beings. They're learning about their emotions and they're finding their place in the world. But how do those challenges get exacerbated?
Well, because for a highly sensitive child, they're taking on so much more than a less sensitive or sort of a less vulnerable person. They're going to get overwhelmed and overstimulated a lot quicker. So if the average person's seeing 10 colors, the highly sensitive child is seeing in 25 colors. So that stimulation results in a lot of feeling overwhelmed, overstimulated, and needing to find a way to release that. So that's one of the big challenges for highly sensitive children is needing that downtime and a way to decompress?
Not to paint it all with one negative brush.
No.
Obviously, being a more sensitive being does come with benefits. What do you see balancing out that equation?
Absolutely. So high empathy. This is the child who feels things for other people, can be moved by music, can be moved by other children's pain, very kind, very insightful. They're the child who can be very imaginative, very creative, come up with these elaborate stories for themselves, and they're hardly ever bored. It's a superhero trait. It's one that I identify with strongly, so it's definitely not all negative. It's just learning how to use your superhero power.
I had a good chug in the airport when my baby arrived home after only a 2-week absence, so I have a feeling that I might fit into the one side of that particular equation, but absolutely love it. And I love the fact that we're opening this up so that parents can get a deeper understanding of. We're not classifying your child, we're giving you an opportunity to learn and know more about your child. So, Talia, thank you so much. Really interesting discussion. We're going to continue talking about highly sensitive children and how best to bring out the best in them a little bit later in the show.
Certainly very interesting discussions that we're having this morning. Now, today is also National Video Game Day. Can you imagine? It's a day that is celebrated enthusiastically all around the world by those who enjoy the gaming world. So today, in celebration of that, we're going to be introducing you to a young South African high school learner who, with his love for programming and design, is fast becoming a global sensation with the game that he's developed.
Like most 16-year-olds, Brandon Kaibok is obsessed with gaming. The only difference is he's already developed and published 2 mobile games on the App Store, and his latest game, Taurus, had 100,000 downloads in the first 24 hours. It was also Game of the Day in 137 countries worldwide. Let's find out more about the man, the boy behind the game.
Behind this door, a then 11-year-old took his first steps into game development by teaching himself graphic design. At 13, his focus turned to programming, and then a developer was born.
Brandon, it's crazy to think that you are a 16-year-old self-taught developer, but what inspired you to get into game developing?
So growing up, I've always just had such a huge interest in technology, and my biggest problem with developing these games was that I would never finish the projects that I started. And Blast came about because I decided that I'm going to see a project through to the end. And so Blast was in development for just under 2 years.
And now your new game, Taurus, which has blown up worldwide, you developed in just 3 weeks.
I had really decided that I wanted to move into these much smaller, simpler games like Taurus, which was developed in just 3 weeks and has been extremely successful. So let me show you Taurus, my latest release.
Cool. Brandon, it's crazy to see how this is your setup. Your 2 monitors, your computer, no elaborate studio at all.
Yeah, so I mean, it's actually funny, like people kind of have this image of me as a huge company, which is great because that's what I've been going for, but it's just me developing from home. So when I was designing it, I actually went for a very minimalistic design because I think that follows like modern design trends, and that's really appealing to the eye. And again, that's another thing where it was very easy to develop that kind of design, and that contributes to me building the whole game in just 3 weeks.
And what is the idea or the goal for the player playing Taurus?
So the player has one simple objective, which is just to score as high as possible, and you have to tap on these dots to progress, and for each dot you tap on, your score increases. And the game progressively gets harder and harder and faster, more challenging.
I know you're only 16, but what are some of your hopes and dreams moving into the future?
For the time being, I want to focus on developing these small games like Taurus, so hopefully I can release a few games over the next 2 to 3 years. And then I want to focus on just growing my studio, which is called Hardgraph Studios, which I want to develop into a AAA gaming studio one day.
Very cool. All right, do you mind teaching me how to play this game?
Yeah, sure. So
oh man, I lost. Taurus received Game of the Day on the App Store in 137 countries. At just 16 years old, Brandon has already achieved what most game developers can only dream of. I can't wait to see what he's going to achieve next. Can I play again?
yeah, sure.
I think I might be addicted.
Now, we've developed a little bit of a game of our own. It is the Emoji Charades game that we play every single Wednesday. So what we've done is we've come up with a bunch of emojis. You need to guess, is it a movie, is it a song, is it a TV series? But don't worry, we also give you a couple of clues to help you out. So let's take a look at the emojis that we have.
Yes, let's see what we got as soon as it arrives. Okay, so we know it's a song. 2 words in the title. It's a thinking emoji, and also I don't know what this girl's doing. I never know what she does. Is she happy? Is she doing ballet? Like, what's the situation? Holding down the hair.
You never know.
But here's some clues. This is another one released earlier this year by an American musician from his upcoming 11th studio album. Now the track features Justin Bieber, Quavo and Chance the Rapper on the lyrics, and of course the music video received a nomination for the MTV Video Music Award for Best Song of the Summer.
I feel like it's a dead giveaway just in the way you delivered those clues.
And also like all of the artists together. Like.
Yeah, you know this track, and if you know the answer, why don't you head on over to our social media pages, let us know which song, who the artist is, and let us know with that hashtag Expresso Show.
Well, there's lots coming your way. I hope you get guessing and get those answers right on our Emoji Charades game. Still coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast show, we've got the Cyclopaths Cycling Club. They're going to be doing their Heritage Day cycle. You don't want to miss all of that action.
Looking very fresh for guys who cycled to the studio this morning, I must say. And then we'll also be getting to know our guest artist this morning, Nomfundo Kaluva. She's in the makeup room right now getting ready, but I can't wait to chat to her and of course to be hearing music from her. It's been a while. It's been a while. But you'll be surprised at what we do to get these amazing shots for you. Just so that you can have a nice view in the morning. Actually, follow us on Twitter. We'll show you just now what we do.
Coming up on Afternoon Express, today live at 4:30 on SABC3, we meet the original Queen of Kwaito and hitmaker Mashoza. She will also be performing her latest song, Ayina Chorus, live in the loft alongside a violinist and a violist. And in the kitchen, we make a delicious vegan risotto. That's Afternoon Express, weekdays at 4:30 p.m. on SABC3. The stage is yours.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Well, welcome back. You're live with Expresso. It's been a beautiful morning and it's only getting better. And of course, we've been treated to some unbelievable cycling this year. Of course, plenty of action going down in Spain as we speak. If this has inspired you to get out there and test your own skills out on the road, we have got a golden opportunity. As next weekend, the Cyclopaths Cycling Club are going to be hosting the inaugural Heritage Cycle Tour. Of course, this being Heritage Month. It's a 392-kilometer race through Eagleflay Wine Estate in Stellenbosch. It sounds like a load of fun, but it's going to be a tough one. And I've got two of our race organisers, Lloyd Weitz and Alroy Margot, joining us this morning. Guys, you look ready. Did you ride here?
Yes, we did.
Did you really? Dude, well done. This really is awesome, but I've got to ask, before we get into the dynamics of the race, Cyclopaths, what are you guys about, man? What is the drive behind your team pulling this together?
Basically, our team is around to improve and develop cycling within the Western Cape, especially road cycling. Mountain biking has lots of these tours, and we've decided to host our inaugural 3-day tour.
I mean, we are blessed in this country to have some of the best open roads as well. We know that the trails are great, but there is a certain excitement about road cycling at the moment. We've been treated to some, I would say, almost a golden era in road cycling. Yeah. Are you finding that this is blowing up now? Are South Africans getting on board? Because it can be quite a costly affair, so you want to have support on those lower development areas. Are we getting that message out there?
Definitely. I mean, if you look at the stats, it would clearly show to you that the Western Cape itself, in terms of bike sales, increase of 40% year on year. So there's definitely a drive for more people to get on the roads instead of mountain bikes as well.
And I know a lot of people are coming from other parts of the world to take part in our road races as well. So exploring our heritage, what better way to do it than actually exploring our heritage? Get on the road and explore. What is the Heritage Cycle Tour about?
So it's a 3-day tour. Day one, we cover 140 kilometers, starting at the Eagle Flay restaurant out in Stellenbosch. We go out from there out to the Malmesbury area, over to Riebeek Kasteel, which is a beautiful climb over there. So day one is the easier side of the climb. Day two, we do the similar route, but just we come from the Hermon side, Riebeek Kasteel, and we go over the Botmaskloof. Nice tough climb for the guys. Yeah. Day three is a nice, easy, flat day out to Malmesbury and back, 110 Ks. Yeah.
I absolutely love it, and it really does give a complete perspective of the Western Cape as well through that opportunity. Now, I know there are still openings for the race. How do people get involved, and what sort of preparation do you need to take part in a race like this?
From a preparation part, if you haven't been training, and this is not a type of race where you get on your bike and decide, I'm going to do a 3-day stage race. You need to have prepped way in advance for it. So this is normally for the cyclist that normally spends a lot of time on his bike. But what we've also done is we've also said to ourselves, if we want to really develop the sport, we need to also have a 1-day. So what we're doing is on the last day, we're opening up entries for all other individuals who says to themselves, I can't compete in 3 days, but I can definitely
I'm a weekend warrior.
I'm a weekend warrior. I can do 110K. So we're opening entries for the 1 day as well.
What is it about the culture of cycling? Because I've been lucky enough to get into it through the show, funnily enough, completely unprepared. But it was that brotherhood, that sisterhood, that community that I loved the most. What is it about road cycling that excites you so much?
Yeah, I think especially road cycling is a lot more community-based and like club and team-based, where you get up early in the morning, 5 a.m., get out there and all your mates are waiting, and you guys head off into the road and cover big distances. You see the beautiful Western Cape, all our beautiful roads. I mean, it's just so lovely getting out there, yeah.
It's a massive stress reliever, and it's a lot of fun, and you get to own bikes like this. I'm not going to ask you how much they cost, but it's well worth it. It's an investment this time around, not only in building that community, helping grassroots development, but also for yourself exploring something completely new. And you can go to westernprovincecycling.com to get all of the details.
That's good.
In the national news, the National Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Kehla Sitole, yesterday said that the South African Police Service had a deficit of 62,000 police officers. And in Parliament, Police Minister Becky Cele said the greater community also needs to take a stand against crime. President Cyril Ramaphosa says that he will testify with a great deal of pleasure before the Commission of Inquiry into State Capture, should he be called to testify. Ramaphosa said anyone that has something to put forward to the Zondo Commission should never hide. On the international front, Zimbabwe has declared a cholera outbreak in the capital, Harare, after 20 people succumbed to the disease and more than 2,000 were infected by drinking contaminated water. Zimbabwe suffered its biggest cholera outbreak in 2008 when more than 4,000 people died. And then finally, an overcrowded bus plunged into a gorge in southern India yesterday, killing at least 55 people and injuring several more in one of the worst such accidents this year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi described the accident as shocking beyond words. Well, that was your 6:30 news update. I'll have a full bulletin for you at the top of the hour.
We open with a dramatic note, as locally in football, Kaizer Chiefs have now been found guilty by a PSL disciplinary committee for fan violence that took place during the Nedbank Cup semi-finals back in April. As punishment, Chiefs will play 3 of their matches behind closed doors. Staying with football, Spain claimed back-to-back wins in the UEFA Nations League as they crushed Croatia by 6-0 in Alicante last night. In other results, Belgium beat Iceland 3-0, while Hungary edged out Greece 2-1. Then in Formula 1, 2007 world champion Kimi Räikkönen will leave Ferrari at the end of the 2018 season to rejoin Sauber, with 20-year-old Charles Leclerc taking his place. We'll expand on all of those on the top of the hour.
Let's take a first look at what to expect in your roads today. We start off in Gauteng, central Johannesburg. Commissioner Street, Sawyer Street and Temi Piloso Street. That will be closed from 9:30 a.m. all the way through till 11 a.m. today. And that's for a ceremony commemorating the firefighters who died battling the fire at Gauteng's Health Department last Wednesday. So please make use of an alternative route. And then also in Cape Town and Khayelitsha, there's a vehicle that's broken down. It's on the N2 inbound. It's at Muway. That emergency lane is currently blocked, so please approach with caution. That's where I leave your traffic. Another update coming your way in half an hour.
More than a club, more than an appliance brand. Defy.
Thank you so much for sending through your beautiful sunrise pictures. You can do so on our Expresso Facebook page. And this morning we say a special thank you to Carl Hollenby, who sent us this beautiful sunrise from Uvongo Beach in KwaZulu-Natal. You can expect warm temperatures in Durban today, reaching a maximum of 27. But let's look at the rest of the temperatures across the country, starting off in Polokwane. Your minimum for today is 10, your maximum 29. Mbombela 13, 34. Pretoria 11 with a high of 27. Johannesburg 9, 26. It's sunny in Mahikeng today, a low of 6, a high of 30 degrees Celsius. Klerksdorp 6, 29. Kimberley 3, 26. Bloemfontein a cool 1 with a high of 25. Richards Bay 17 with a maximum of 31. Pietermaritzburg 8, 31. Durban 17 with a high of 27. Mthatha 9 with a high of 28. It's sunny in East London today, 12 with a high of 22. Cradock 3 reaching a high of 23. Port Elizabeth 11 reaching a high of 19. Partly cloudy conditions in George with a low of 10, a high of 18. Sutherland 1 reaching a high of 14. Some rain is expected in Cape Town today, a low of 12, a high of 15. Worcester 8, 16. Springbok 3 with a high of 18. And Uppington 6 reaching a high of 24 degrees Celsius. That's where I leave your weather. I'll have another update for you at 7 o'clock.
So no matter how you say good morning, we're challenging you to take part in the hashtag Baker's Good Morning Challenge. And all you have to do is switch up the way that you say good morning. So if you usually just give a smile, then why not shout it out from the rooftops? Head on over to our Expresso Facebook page and reply to the Baker's Good Morning Challenge post by telling us how you saying good morning differently today. And then, of course, don't forget to hashtag Baker's Good Morning Challenge. And while we talk about saying good morning, can we talk about saying good morning from a distance, right? I got this tweet this morning from, I've got to say this name properly.
So are you like shouting it out from like 10 kilometers away to someone at the office?
No. This is like from a distance. Okay. We're shouting it out like all the way to Quebec, Canada. Okay. Right? Serena Marie Nkuyehasi, who is watching us right now, and said, good morning from Gatineau, Quebec. Enjoy your day, guys. Let me sleep. It's midnight here. Okay. So we're saying good morning and good night to her all at the same time. But primarily good morning. Bonjour in Gatineau.
Good morning.
How do you say good morning, sir?
I generally don't say good morning. You know, I mean, I wake up and there's usually no one until I just go hi guys. But I think I've switched it up now, and now my new thing is just like good monza. And that's it. Yeah, just, you give it a bit of a razzle dazzle. Good monza.
Good monza. Well, okay. So that's how Tabzi does it.
How do you say it?
Nah, I think it's it all depends on the morning. Like I said, when I walk in downstairs, and the gentlemen at security are French speaking. Yeah. So it's like a little bonjour, and then we have a little bonjour, ça va? Yeah. Très bien, merci. Whatever.
Actually also.
And then depending on who's in the studio, do the things that must be done. Would you like some coffee to?
Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
I see.
And then depending on who we have on set, and then okay, goeiemorgen, okay, molo, okay, wabona. Uti jaja. Anyway, so like I said, no matter how you say good morning, Baker's Good Morning Rusks are here to make every start to a day a great one. So let us know how you hashtag Baker's Good Morning Challenge.
There's a new way to say good morning. Discover new Baker's Good Morning Rusks in 3 delicious flavors, now available in a resealable container.
Well, maybe you approach saying good morning to your child with a little extra sensitivity because they are extra sensitive. We're going to continue that discussion this morning, dealing with very sensitive children, the do's and don'ts.
I'm a sensitive soul.
I'm a sensitive soul.
And then, of course, this gorgeous human being is Nomfundo Qaluva, and we get to know her a little bit more after the break. We'll see you right back after this.
Are you the smoothest fan to Mzansi's biggest stars?
Prove it by entering SABC1's new Tropica Smooth Fan TV show. By Tropica, follow the entry details on pack, select your favorite celeb who you know best, and you can compete on the live TV quiz show. And also stand a chance to win thousands of daily prizes and a share of 1 million rand. Enter and catch the Tropica Smooth Fan Quiz Show on SABC1, Fridays at 6 p.m.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Well, in case you haven't heard it yet, a very good morning to you. This is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. Time for us to now find out what's happening with our local stars in Mzansiwood.
Lots, always lots happening. If you are a scary movie fan, then you're going to be excited about this one. It's a local supernatural thriller. It's called The Tokoloshi. And it's screening at the Comic-Con Festival, which will be held here in South Africa for the very first time from the 14th to the 16th of September. Now, the title of the movie on its own, I think, gets you going because no one knows what it is, but it's provocative, and you're wondering, what on earth is that about? It stars Petronella Tuma, who plays the role of Busi, a young woman who's desperate for money and takes the night shift at the local hospital. Now, she's out working, on duty at the hospital. She befriends this young girl who believes she's being terrorized by Tokoloshi. Now, when children start disappearing, Busi is forced to consider that the Tokoloshi could be responsible. Now, speaking about the film and the response it's received globally, the director, Pikwane, said that audiences have responded positively both in the UK and at the premiere of the Tokoloshi in South Korea. The language of the film is universal. He said that people are not only entertained, but they also think the story is very relevant. The film deals with a young woman who fights back against an evil spirit that has pursued her all her life. The Tokoloshi is, after all, a diminutive mythological spirit evoked for the purposes of evil and most commonly associated with sexual plunder. Comic-Con Africa takes place at the Culinary Grand Prix and the International Convention Center from the 14th to the 16th of September. You wanna watch that?
Yeah, I was Jason Momoa was supposed to be there. Aquaman. And
Is he
my
not?
sun and my moon? No,
My
he's
sun
not
and my
coming
moon.
anymore.
Oh no, has he pulled
I
it
wonder
out?
if they're going to have, what's his name, Tokoloshi gaan jou vangalangalang there.
Well, I hope they don't. Oh, that one.
Anyways, some good news. Weeks after Spatlem Pisani was involved in a horrific car crash, fans of the fitness model got to see her for the very first time via an Instagram post that was shared by her brother Andile. Now in the video, Spatle is seen sitting on her hospital bed, surrounded by gifts with her brother by her side. Let's check it out.
Hi guys, today's the 11th of September. It's my parents' anniversary and we're very excited. And also I'm sick today, and thank you guys for all the fun of making me feel better, the presents and everything else, and my sister for bringing me a present today. I love you guys. I love my parents so much, and I love my brother for all the presents you wrote for me. It's amazing. Thank you guys. Thank you again.
Oh, we're so happy! That is
good news.
amazing. Yeah, well, of course, the video received some mixed emotions from social media users, some of them tweeting that she looked uncomfortable doing the video and that her family should have let her recover peacefully. But I think we just wanted to know that she's okay, and now she can go back to resting and recovering, and we wish her and give her all the time in the world to do what needs to be done.
Absolutely.
Certainly wishing her a speedy recovery. Well, that was your local entertainment news here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
So we're going to continue a very interesting discussion now. We are honing in on highly sensitive children this morning. And we are giving you some clues as to where your child might sit on that scale. Talia Ressel, our family therapist, has been unpacking this with me. And it is so interesting because it must be quite a broad scale. And then we weigh in with different genders. How does this hypersensitivity exhibit in boys as opposed to in young girls?
So it presents equally. I mean, there's no gender bias that it's more for girls, but what we come across is the social construct, these social negativities around boys being sensitive. You know, you don't cry, and that it's
our baggage, not theirs.
Totally. And so we teach boys, and we teach boys to suppress all emotions except anger. Anger's okay. And for a highly sensitive child, that's extremely hard. So if parents can start to become aware of our biases, our negative traits and baggage, like you say, about how we view sensitivity.
I mean, there's always an element of self-therapy when we are dealing with our children, and this is the joy, the opportunity of being a parent, is you get to sort out a lot of your own nonsense in that process. So what behavior from the parent side can make this hypersensitive or highly sensitive children's situation worse? How do we exacerbate the situation?
Like the gardener to the orchid, you know, obviously we play the role as parents of creating the environment, and it's not unlikely that a highly sensitive child has got one or maybe both parents that are highly sensitive themselves. So yes, this is your opportunity for your own therapy. I like to say a child's born with a mirror. They come out and show you all your flaws. There you go, deal with it. So for parents, they play a big role in how they frame it, how they view it, letting the child start to feel validated and accepted, or they can start to feel shamed and embarrassed about their emotional world. And that's where parents play a very key role. And I just want to say that, you know, a highly sensitive parent might be more attuned, can connect with those feelings and offer a lot of value. But a non-highly sensitive parent also offers a lot of value, because just because of high sensitivity doesn't mean we've got to let everything go. You've still got to function in this world. You've still got to be resilient. You've got to get on with things. So it's about learning to manage it.
How do we get the most out of our child that is dealing with this the state of being, if I can call it that? What do we do to trigger the best parts of that kind of personality?
Okay. So we start by acknowledging that this is how your child is. There's nothing you've done wrong as a parent. It's not because you're too permissive or too strict. It's something that's innate. They're born with this trait. So we acknowledge it, we validate it. Your child's not being difficult. They're not trying to rule the roost for just being a tyrant. It's how they are feeling. So validate and acknowledge. Then what we also need to do as parents, we can help manage some of the situation. So don't let your child get overtired or hungry or, you know, too much stimulation. Give them downtime after school because you know they're going to be soaking in so much more. So we can try and protect them somewhat.
Those are areas you can actually control.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Then what we can also do is how we frame it back to your child. So stop being a crybaby is not going to be very validating for them. So how we respond to them when they are emotional, acknowledge it, give them tools to manage it, teach them about going for a walk when you're so stressed or taking a big breath of like you're blowing up a balloon in your tummy. One thing I like to do with highly sensitive children, teach them about mindfulness breathing, which sounds quite a big concept.
Control of your diaphragm is
so important.
Yeah.
And a useful way to do that with kids, let them lie with a teddy bear on their tummy and they have to make the teddy bear go up and down and up and down. And those are helpful tools how to manage those emotions. We're not going to take away their emotional experience, the intensity, but we learn how to function in a world that's very stimulating and very busy.
And I think there is so much, value attached to emotional intelligence and your EQ at the moment that this isn't a golden opportunity to start fostering that in the right way, but it does need to be done in a controlled fashion. Atalia, thank you so much. I think here again a golden opportunity to work on our entire family's energy in this space, but also do a bit of self-therapy as well. So if you're an emotional being, your child is an emotional being, learn to connect over that and how you can both find ways to get the best out of each other.
All right, it's my favorite time of the morning where we get to know our guest artist because, of course, we know we live in a fast-paced world, so you've got to make a good first impression. And, of course, we do this through a 60-second rapid-fire series of questions where we get to know our guest artist. Nomfundo Kaluva in the studio! Deserving of the ancestral ululation you are. How are you?
I receive. I'm good, thank you. Can't complain. Yourself?
I'm very, very well. And it's always such a pleasure seeing you. And yes, you've organized your favorite cup of coffee. Yes. There you go. So are you ready to answer with the first thing that comes to mind in 60 seconds?
I'm nervous.
Start the clock. We like the nerves. Who's your celebrity crush?
Diane Reeves.
Woo! Where would you like to retire?
Port Elizabeth.
If you could perform anywhere in the world?
New York.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Your favorite pizza topping?
Evo.
If you could travel in time, which year would you go to?
2032. I have no idea why.
What?
I have no idea why. Don't ask.
One thing most people don't know about you.
I love to cook.
Do you snore?
No.
The last person you texted?
My mother.
Your favorite holiday destination?
Thailand so far, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Have coffee.
Favorite series?
Yo, that's difficult.
Go.
Okay, Handmaid's Tale. But it depresses me.
Right.
But yeah, okay.
I'm kind of iffy. Anyway, favorite song?
Bayatet.
Chocolate or caramel?
Chocolate.
Texting or talking?
Talking.
What's the one thing you're really bad at?
Waking up in the morning.
But you're here. But you're here. Wow. Listen, PE, right? Port Elizabeth. You like that place?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I do. It's where I was born and raised.
Okay, so hometown glory
So,
vibes.
yes.
I wanted to start this conversation, not in a weird way, but to ask you, is it weird that I sometimes think about you in the shower? Because I tell you why.
Okay.
Since that first performance you did of Yakalingomo, and I heard your version of it, I cannot help but as the water just goes through my hair, I'm just like, Yakala, Yakala.
But you are low-key obsessed with that though.
I'm so in
it.
it. I've never heard a rendition like that. You've poured some magic into that song that's given it new life for me, and I'm sure for very many other fans there. Is it something that you think that you discovered through your master's dissertation when you spoke about the influence of, or the analysis of the musical style of Mama Africa? Was that magic revealed in moments like that?
Yes, I think it's a spirit. I think it's a spirit. And I think through engaging with Mamira Makeba's music and her life and the spirit with which the music is delivered and where it comes from and what it represents, the nostalgia. So when you sing in Yakalingomo and you think about Winston Mankungu, you think about 1968, you think about his love of John Coltrane and the spirit that comes through in the way that he blows the saxophone on Yakari Ngomo, and you can literally hear the bellow, you know, of the bull. So I think it's a spirit thing, and I think that's what makes you sing in the shower.
Wow,
Spirit.
it certainly does, and I don't know if a lot of people know that you are a student of music. You are learned in the craft of music. You are constantly evolving yourself, and now you've evolved yourself to a very powerful position as Vice Chairman of the Samro Foundation Board of Directors. Please, can we bring the table? I feel like I must button up my jacket.
You're better now, you're better now.
Tell me about that hallowed position that you hold now and what it means for you and the industry at large.
Look, the Samro Foundation is an incredible, non-profit organization. The parent company being Samro, which is the country's collection society of royalties.
Yeah.
So all musicians basically get paid through Samro. So the foundation deals more with music education, which is a passion of mine.
Yes.
Lecturing at the University of Cape Town. It's about, nurturing education in the arts, nurturing music education through bursaries and scholarships. And also just, the revival or the upkeep of the live music scene.
Yes.
So for me to be a vice chair of the Samro Foundation, which is just plowing in such an incredible way to the arts industry and music in South Africa, is an incredible honor and privilege, you know. So yeah, it's tricky because you're in a position of influence and making decisions that basically change people's lives. But also, I've always wanted to do this anyway, and I've got to take the responsibility, and to do it.
Wow. Listen, I'm looking at the menu in front of me. Young, Gifted and Black. You have prepared that for us today.
Yes, I have.
I cannot wait. Make sure that you do not miss out on that. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, let it ring across the studio. Nomfundo Kaluka!
Well, we are going to take a very quick break. When we get back, I mean, we've been spoiled for choice when it comes to braais. Yesterday, we had macaroni and cheese on a braai broodjie.
Yeah.
Today, it's sirloin and piccalini butter. Ooh,
that's right. I'm actually just like, I'm so hungry this morning, and it seems that's what I do at this time of the morning. Princess Siswam Omhle. Gonna eat lemon poppy muffin, please. Yeah, and a coffee. Also, still coming up after the break, our lovely Unomfundo Kaluva is going to be performing for us on our stage. So stay with your feel-good breakfast show after the break. Princess.
Enjoy a moment in between with McCafe. See you after the break.
All Expresso presenters and guests fly domestically with Mango. Enjoy outstanding service, online check-in and seat selection. With the widest booking and payment options, Mango is the only airline globally to accept store charge cards as a means of payment. Fly in comfort with ergonomically efficient seats for more legroom. Aboard a fleet of new generation Boeing 737-800 aircraft. Join the presenters of Expresso and fly Mango.
So performance is on the 28th of September, but Joy of Jazz starts 27th till the 29th. Ooh, what a relief, I thought we were done. 27, yeah. 1 minute
Precious in every way, your smile brightens up the day. You carry the world upon your shoulders.
Are we good? Okay, we need to do something, but I don't want to take the mic and then. 3.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
welcome back to your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, on SABC3. Listen, Nomfundo Kaluva is going to be entertaining us very, very shortly. Listen to that. That's how you want to wake up in the morning. Just the piano doing its thing. And of course, you can also catch you live at the Joy of Jazz Festival. That's happening from the 27th to the 28th.
27th to the 29th
of September.
September.
When is your show particularly?
28th.
28th.
Friday 28th.
All right, we're gearing up for that, and as I said, we're gearing up for a performance as well. But in the meantime, let's quickly introduce you to a young South African game developer who's making some big waves in the industry.
Like most 16-year-olds, Brandon Kaibok is obsessed with gaming. The only difference is he's already developed and published 2 mobile games on the App Store, and his latest game, Taurus, had 100,000 downloads in the first 24 hours. It was also Game of the Day in 137 countries worldwide. Let's find out more about the man, the boy behind the game.
Behind this door, a then 11-year-old took his first steps into game development by teaching himself graphic design. At 13, his focus turned to programming, and then a developer was born.
Brandon, it's crazy to think that you are a 16-year-old self-taught developer, but what inspired you to get into game developing?
So growing up, I've always just had such a huge interest in technology, and my biggest problem with developing these games was that I would never finish the projects that I started. And Blast came about because I decided that I'm going to see a project through to the end. And so Blast was in development for just under 2 years.
And now your new game, Taurus, which has blown up worldwide, you developed in just 3 weeks.
I had really decided that I wanted to move into these much smaller, simpler games like Taurus, which was developed in just 3 weeks and has been extremely successful. So let me show you Taurus, my latest release.
Cool. Brandon, it's crazy to see how this is your setup. Your 2 monitors, your computer, no elaborate studio at all.
Yeah, so I mean, it's actually funny, like people kind of have this image of me as a huge company, which is great because that's what I've been going for, but it's just me developing from home. So when I was designing it, I actually went for a very minimalistic design because I think that follows like modern design trends, and that's really appealing to the eye. And again, that's another thing where it was very easy to develop that kind of design, and that contributes to me building the whole game in just 3 weeks.
And what is the idea or the goal for the player playing Taurus?
So the player has one simple objective, which is just to score as high as possible, and you have to tap on these dots to progress, and for each dot you tap on, your score increases. And the game progressively gets harder and harder and faster, more challenging.
I know you're only 16, but what are some of your hopes and dreams moving into the future?
For the time being, I want to focus on developing these small games like Taurus, so hopefully I can release a few games over the next 2 to 3 years. And then I want to focus on just growing my studio, which is called Hardgraph Studios, which I want to develop into a AAA gaming studio one day.
Very cool. All right, do you mind teaching me how to play this game?
Yeah, sure. So,
oh man, I lost. Taurus received Game of the Day on the App Store in 137 countries. At just 16 years old, Brandon has already achieved what most game developers can only dream of. I can't wait to see what he's going to achieve next. Can I play again?
Yeah, sure.
I think I might be addicted.
Oh man, a truly special day celebrating young people all across South Africa that are making their way entrepreneurially and, of course, musically. We are in very, very good hands this morning with Nomfundo Kaluva, who will be performing for us a little bit later on. But while you enjoy these serene sounds, how about we take you over to Leanne for the morning's headlines?
Thank you so much, Kat. In the national news this morning, the police service has a deficit of 62,000 officers. National Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Kehla Sithole said yesterday when he and Police Minister Bheki Cele presented the alarming crime statistics for 2017 and 2018 in Parliament. Cele said South Africa has lost the United Nations norm of policing, which requires one police officer to serve every 220 citizens. Currently, there are about 190,000 police officers to serve a population of some 57 million, including the estimated 11 million undocumented immigrants. Cele said the greater community also needs to take a stand against crime. President Cyril Ramaphosa says that he will testify with a great deal of pleasure before the Commission of Inquiry into State Capture if he is called to give testimony. Ramaphosa was answering a question from DAMP Kathleen Labuschagne in the National Council of Provinces yesterday. Ramaphosa says no one should hide any information that can help the inquiry. He said it is important that the people of South Africa get to know exactly what was happening in the country. Anyone that has something to put forward to the Zondo Commission should never hide. Now moving further abroad, Zimbabwe has declared a cholera outbreak in the capital Harare after 20 people succumbed to the disease and more than 2,000 were infected by drinking contaminated water. New Health Minister Obadiah Moyo said yesterday. Harare City Council has struggled to supply water to some suburbs for more than a decade, forcing residents to rely on water from open wells and community boreholes. Zimbabwe suffered its biggest cholera outbreak in 2008 at the height of an economic crisis when more than 4,000 people died and some 40,000 were treated after being infected. And then finally, an overcrowded bus plunged into a gorge in southern India yesterday, killing at least 55 people and injuring several more in one of the worst such accidents this year, authorities said. The driver lost control and the bus skidded off the road and toppled into the gorge. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that he was anguished by the loss of lives and described the accident as shocking beyond words. India has the world's deadliest roads with almost 150,000 people killed in accidents in 2016, the latest government data shows. Well, that was your 7 o'clock news update. Here's Graham with another look at what's happening in the world of sport.
We open on a very dramatic note this morning, as in football, Kaizer Chiefs have been found guilty by a PSL disciplinary committee for fan violence that took place during the Nedbank Cup semi-finals back in April. Fans stormed the pitch in the dying moments of the game when Chiefs were 2-0 down against Free State Stars at the Moses Mabhida Stadium. And as punishment, Chiefs will now play 3 of their matches behind closed doors, with one of the games being suspended for a 24-month period. In staying with football, Spain claimed back-to-back wins in the very exciting UEFA Nations League as they crushed Croatia by 6-0 in Alicante last night. With Spain already 3-0 up in the first half, the match was all but decided. However, it got worse for the 2018 World Cup runners-up Croatia as the 2010 World Cup champions showed their true form, scoring another 3 in the second 45. Some other results coming out of last night's action: Belgium beat Iceland 3-0, while Hungary edged out Greece 2-1. Then on to Formula One. The 2007 world champion Kimi Räikkönen will leave Ferrari at the end of the 2018 season to rejoin with his old team Sauber. The 38-year-old will finish his second stint with Ferrari after 5 years and will be replaced by 20-year-old Charles Leclerc, who is currently with Sauber. And both Räikkönen and Leclerc will be in action this coming weekend at the Marina Bay circuit for the iconic Singapore Grand Prix. That's been really our sport for now.
Let's take another look at your roads. We start off in Gauteng in Bedfordview. Now on the N12 eastbound, there's been a multi-vehicle accident. It's before Edenvale Road, causing the center lane. Well, the center lane is blocked, so you can please approach with caution. Then in Elsies River in Cape Town, there's protest action currently taking place at Valhalla Drive and Myrtle Road. Police are currently on the scene. However, it's been advised to please make use of an alternative route in that area this morning. That's where I leave your roads. I'll have another update for you in half an hour.
More than a club, more than an appliance brand, Defy.
And we would like to say a big thank you to Saki Burger for sending through this beautiful sunrise from Marble Hall in Limpopo, where you can expect warm weather today and some cloud cover a little bit later this afternoon. But if you would love to send through a beautiful sunrise from your area, feel free to do so on our Expresso Facebook page. But looking at the rest of your temperatures, we start off in Polokwane, where you can expect a minimum of 10 today, a maximum of 29. Mpumbela 13, 34. Pretoria 11, 27. Johannesburg 9 with a high of 26. Mahikeng 6 with a high of 30. Sunny and Klerksdorp 6 with a high of 29. Kimberley 3, 26. Bloemfontein starting off on a cool 1, reaching a high of 25. Richards Bay 17.31, Pietermaritzburg 8.31, Durban 17 with a high of 27, Mthatha 9.28, East London 12.22, Cradock 3 with a high of 23, partly cloudy in Port Elizabeth, a low of 11, a high of 19, George 10 with a high of 18, Sutherland 1 reaching a high of 14. Rain is expected in the mother city today in Cape Town, a low of 12, a high of 15, Worcester 8, 16, Springboks 3, 18, and sunny in Uppington, a low of 6 and a high of 24 degrees Celsius. That's where we leave your weather. I'll have another update for you in half an hour.
All right, it's time to take a look at your comments on our Emoji Charades game on Facebook. We've asked you to take a guess as we play and give you some clues. It's a song, obviously, and it says 2 there, so there's the number 2, thinking and brain. And a lot of your guesses have been coming through. This is another one released earlier this year by American musician from his upcoming 11th studio album featuring Justin Bieber, Quavo, and Chance the Rapper. And your comments have been coming through fast and thick. All your guesses. Here's Nicole Truter Johnson saying DJ Khaled, Justin Bieber, Quavo, and Chance the Rapper. Hashtag no brainer. Nathania Govender says no brainer. Monique Bosse says DJ Khaled, Justin Bieber, and the others. Hashtag no brainer. Nunu Ntombela says no brainer. And Lisa says no brainer. Are they right? Are they wrong? What do you think? Head on to our Facebook page, hashtag Expresso Show, and let us know what your guesses are.
Well, our guest artist this morning is a 2-time Metro FM Music Award winner. She is a master's degree jazz student, cum laude, if I may say, also a vice chairman of the Samro Foundation Board of Directors. Now take all of that, park it to the side, and listen to her incredible voice, Nomfundo Kaluva with Mfazo Mnyama.
find inspiration. We marvel in adoration. You feed the world what it needs to grow.
I am here for all of this every single day. Make sure you stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast show. Later on, Nomfundo will tell you about a very special project that she's involved in at the Joy of Jazz Festival, but later on this month. And also a fascinating story about why Diane Reeves is her favorite artist of all time. You don't want to miss out on that. Stay tuned. You are something special. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
Oh man, something special indeed. After the break, we're going to delve into our daily tech update. 5G. It is here. Or is it actually here? People are talking about it. We'll get the latest.
Well, 5G, the 1G. I love the 1G too.
The G unit.
Meaning this G. And then, of course, we're going to head to not the kitchen, but the braai area because we're making a delicious bone-in sirloin with piccalilli butter.
Oh my word.
Absolutely amazing.
Science reaches for the truth. Science works for the big and the small, the old and the young. Science never gives up. And science is at the heart of biology-based nutrition for differences you can see, feel, and trust. The secret to lifelong health, it all starts with science.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso on SABC3. Hope this Wednesday is turning out beautifully for you. Now, I don't know if you're like me and you are right now. In the stage of your life where you're in search of your dream home? Well, if you are, then the search has become a lot easier with one of South Africa's favorite property websites, Private Property.
Private Property were recently in studio to share the exciting launch of their new app. Today, they're back with product designer Mason Ince, who is here to tell us about the exciting details of their new and improved website. Mason, good morning.
Hi, good to be here.
Welcome to Expresso. It's your first time here.
Very first time.
Yeah, well, listen, for someone that's now looking at your website for the very first time, they can see that there are some cool new features that makes finding their dream home so much simpler and easier and faster. What prompted these changes and what was the idea behind it?
Okay, great question. It's weird. I've been answering that question for the last 2 or 3 weeks now, and I never get tired of the answer because I think it's pretty fun. So basically, a lot of soul searching as a team and a department. And it's never an easy conversation because you basically have to look at what you've done in the past and how you can improve going forward. So unlike other projects where, as an IT team of guys and girls, we think in an incubator, think in a vacuum, this time we actually spoke to real users like yourself. We asked them what they were looking for, how we could improve, how we could get better. And that exercise was actually fascinating. It took us down a really exciting path. And what we found is something quite core to the South African story.
Okay.
And this is something that Private Property is very passionate about because we want everyone to be able to tell their story, their unique chapter in our country's amazing history. And of course, home buying and home renting is crucial to that. So what we found is that we're a country of amazingly diverse people. We're the same, but we're also different. We're all looking for different things. So with these changes, we want to make it really easy for you, for me, for everyone sitting back at home to find the property that matches their exact wants and needs. And that's what we're here to chat about.
Oh, that's exciting. So let's chat about some of the changes you guys implemented. Like, put me out of my misery.
Absolutely. Let's get into some details.
Okay.
So I think it's a bit of a misnomer to think of us as a house hunting website. We're actually more than that. It's actually about matchmaking. So basically, our job is to help you find your perfect match.
It's like dating for your house.
Exactly. It's exactly like that. So if you have really specific requirements for your house, for example, I've seen tons of dogs walking around here.
Pet friendly. Struggle.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you're looking through a whole list of properties and you want us to exclude the homes that aren't pet friendly, you can do that. If safety is something really important to you, if an apartment with amazing security features is something really crucial to you or your family, that's also sorted, and you can look at homes that focus really well on that. And the other cool thing that we've done is you can still filter by bedroom types and price ranges like we always have, but we've included extra features like a swimming pool if you're in Durban, which is fantastic, or Cape Town. And once you've done all of the hard work of telling us what you need exactly, pet-friendly, swimming pool, safety and security, we do this cool thing where we ask you for your email, just an email, no password, nothing fancy, and then we send you all of these homes that apply to your specific search criteria in your email.
What are some of the other features that people can get excited about?
If you're really satisfied with that whole matchmaking journey, we really care about helping you find a good deal. And this is what tons and tons of users that we spoke to mentioned. So one way of doing that is through our brand new bank sales section. It's fully responsive. It's a fancy word. All that means is that you can view this on every device. You can view this on your desktop, your iPad, your phone. The entire site's like that, by the way. And with bank sales, it's a really good opportunity to find a good deal on a property for your family, for example, or yourself. And from an investment point of view, if you want to look at really good opportunities in the entire national market. And if you're an absolute expert at the property game, like some of us, you can potentially find your second, third, or fourth home.
That's exciting. So that
Yeah.
you can all do under the... It's like a bargain for your home.
That's like a really cool bargain finding section. We all love a good bargain, don't we?
Yeah, well, listen,
Yeah.
you're going to get a lot of people excited to shop for property, to look for property, to be specific about what they want and not just have to settle. Mason, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
My pleasure.
With the new look private property website, finding your dream property has never been easier if you are in the market or are just interested to see what's available. So make sure you visit privateproperty.co.za today.
Exciting time. So once you've got that beautiful new dream home, of course you want to put in a braai and you want to make a steak. So you can fill the house with these beautiful scents. Abigail Donnelly, our Woolworths creative and trend director.
Oh, that sounds very posh.
It is very corporate sounding, but she is, of course, a born and bred foodie who has a mastery of the flavors in a way that you seem to come up with things where it's like a genius light bulb moment. So we know the steaks are good.
Yes,
we know
especially
that
these bone-in sirloin.
a sirloin with the bone in, the amount
Beautiful.
of flavor that you're going to get out of it with the fat there to render, it is
Exactly.
insane. So now we're combining it with one of my favorite things. I love a good relish or a good pickle, a bit of an old school English vibe there.
Definitely, that's where
but
I
now
get it
we are
from.
doing something quite, I haven't seen it before. Do you say it's natural?
Well,
We
you know,
should be
there's
doing
nothing
this.
really as beautiful as a flavour marriage is piccalilli and a cold roast beef sandwich left over from Sunday lunch. So what I've done is kind of just turned it on its head and made a piccalilli butter for this beautiful bride steak. So what I'm doing here is I love either duck fat or ghee, because the smoking point is so high and also gives it a really nice crust and caramelization.
It's going to really seal in that moisture
Exactly.
as well.
So there's very little. Obviously, with ghee, the whey has been taken away, so it's pure fat and much higher smoking point than an olive oil, for instance.
And remember, yeah, we're obviously not wanting the fat to be absorbed. We're using it there to flavour the meat, to seal in the moisture,
Exactly.
to seal in the flavour, most importantly.
So I'm going to pop it on here. Nice hot braai.
And you've literally just put that on moments before we've done the
Exactly.
steak. You won't be marinating a steak like this.
No,
you want to
not
keep
at all.
it.
I don't even put salt and pepper. If anything, maybe some pepper. But you can do
Just
that all afterwards, you know, because these are so beautifully aged. You want to really get the flavour of
The
the
steak
meat,
is the
and the
hero.
salt will help at the end just to bring it at full-on flavour.
Oh, I love
so
it.
then what
It's
I've got
smelling
here,
amazing
all I've
already.
done is, Woolworths doesn't call it piccalilli, but they call it gherkin relish, and it's very, very similar. Nice and tangy and sweet and pickly. And all I've done is
Quite a nice chunkiness to it as
Exactly.
well. Which I like, yeah.
So I've just put it in the blender, not to make it smooth, but just to take it down a little bit and blended it with beautiful butter.
Wonderful.
I never really roll it fancy, but if you want discs like this, like restaurant style, you can. I just make it a whole lot, put it in the fridge, and take a big spoonful once it's kind of set and onto the hot
this
steak.
is quite nice if you want to package it as well and store it in the freezer.
Exactly.
You've got your
So you
nice
could
little OCD
exactly, yeah.
packages that
Yeah, you call it
can keep.
OCD. I am a little OCD, but not when it comes to food sometimes. But as you can see, it's broken up a little bit, and there's my
but that's
style now.
lovely. Yeah, no,
but
exactly. We
but
call it
obviously,
rustic.
if it
Yeah.
was in the fridge, it has been out a little bit, so it has a little bit gone soft. So
I love it. I
I
like
see
the
you
pop of
staying
colour
quite
as well.
away from here. Is it because you don't want to smell of smoke the rest of the day?
No, I would climb
Look at
on that griddle if I could.
And then what's quite nice is just to hold it there so that fat gets like really crispy and yum.
And when we talk about rendering the fat, it's
Yes.
breaking down the fat, but the most important thing is to get that flavour into the meat, yes?
Exactly, definitely. And I mean, I remember my gran used to have a beef fat jar in the fridge. So every time she used to make roasts, and then used to store that fat and use that fat again as dripping on toast or whatever, and to cook steaks again. So you can just no waste.
Absolutely no waste.
And then these I thought
talk
were
us
quite
through our
nice. These are
condiments,
mealies. I mean, what is a braai without a beautiful corn on the cob, a
food,
mealie?
yeah.
And what I've done is I've just braaied them, not even blanched them, popped them on the braai, dusted them with a little bit of parmesan afterwards, and beautiful woolly sun-dried tomato pesto. You could use basil if you want as well. But it's just...
This
just a
tastes like
really-
summer. If you
just
didn't,
like
if you
full-on
didn't know the
flavours.
season had changed, it really just has. So
Exactly.
I know steaks should be enjoyed as you like them. Don't be pressurized into having a steak because someone says that the only way you should eat a steak is completely rare. But in your mind, what is the best way to get the best flavor and texture out of a steak?
The way I cook steaks is definitely at room temperature. In fact, when I buy them, I take them completely out of the packaging and I rest them on a baking tray in the fridge. And so it just creates like a little bit of not a crust, but just a skin, and then at least 2 hours out of the fridge, just so that you get a beautiful medium rare. It's medium rare inside, but it's still hot. Because you don't want like a hot steak on the outside and then cold inside.
And that being
That's not
said,
cool.
so we don't lose too many of these beautiful juices that we've kept, how long do you rest a steak?
I rest
off
it
the
for
brine?
15, and I don't mind it room temperature. I never cover it with tin foil because I just feel then it really draws in too much steam and it releases too much of the juices.
Yeah,
so I leave it out, no
crust,
tin
yeah.
foil. And I do that with all my roasts, my chicken, my beef, whatever, yeah.
Oh,
and of
man.
course, this is sirloin on the bone, and I really do believe that any meat, whether it's chicken or beef,
Yeah, cook it on the bone, especially
pork,
chicken, yeah.
you know, especially chicken and beef with a steak on the bone is just maximum flavour.
And I love that
It
because
really
the
is.
bone also takes in a lot of heat as well and continues cooking from the
Yeah.
inside out.
And
so
these
it's
are really
very
well
nice.
aged, but if you want to buy them and then just keep them in your fridge, then keep them. Hang them on a rack in the back of your fridge on a plastic coated in duck fat, and then even a week later, it's just maturing better and
You
better.
are a genius. Whatever your official title is, Abby, you are a genius. The keyword is Woolworths. The 33728. You can be creating these Piccalilli butter, beautiful bone-in sirloin steaks yourself.
You know,
Wow,
Tabisa, when
that
you were placed on
Piccalilli.
the show, you struck gold, my friend. Look at what we're making, huh?
We're eating every day.
Yo,
we
living
are
our
fed. We are
best
learning
lives.
new meals, Piccalini or Pacalini. We're learning all of it. Well, listen, if you were enjoying 4G internet and browsing on that, get a load of this. 5G is on its way, and Tech News is going to tell you all about it. after the break.
Exactly. And then Nick Strelitz brings us our how-to fashion guides and how to make prints work for you.
Voted best courier in South Africa for over 10 years, at Globe Flight our approach is to simply keep our word. When the quality of our courier service was certified ISO 9001 compliant, it only confirmed what Globe Flight customers already know, that from domestic same day to international air freight, Globe Flight delivers smiles 24/7, 365.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Follow that funky beat. Time to blow your minds with the latest in our Tech Daily Update.
Yeah, man. How about this? Uber has now launched brand new safety features for their app, and one of them called Ride Check might be very, very useful. So Ride Check makes use of sensors in your smartphones, including the gyroscope, the GPS, the accelerometer, to detect any unusual kind of behavior.
Driving habits.
Yeah, exactly. Driving habits. It can detect whether the car has been in an accident or maybe stops for an unusually long period of time, and then sends the rider options of action, which include possibly calling the authorities should there be a need for that. So I guess the big question is, do you now think that that would be effective? Does that really offer more safety to riders in Uber vehicles? But I guess they are taking a step forward in making sure that their customers are more comfortable.
Yeah, and feeling safe. I mean, we've had
That's
some
a very
stories breaking
important thing,
into
exactly.
the headlines. And I think a lot of us do feel at the mercy of, I mean, Uber is a fantastic resource to have, but you are handing over your personal safety to someone else.
But I think it's a great step forward.
Yeah, big step forward. And speaking of which, we're about to take a quantum leap forward when it comes to connectivity. Enjoying the speed of 4G and LTE networks. Yeah, we know we've taken a big leap forward, but it is finally here. Dun, dun, dun. Really? The 5th generation of cellular networking, 5G, is in fact almost here. It's going to offer speeds between 10 to 20 gigabits per second, which is 5 times faster than 3G, which 3G felt like it was already a bit of a step up.
Yeah.
But 5G, it's coming.
That's amazing. So any news on when it might be? So we're talking...
it looks like October and November next year.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to finalize that announcement. And of course, it'll be happening at the big World Radio Conference in October and November next year in Egypt. So let's hope. Let's hope it comes out and when it'll make its way back to South Africa. But at least I reckon in the next 2-3 years, 5G will be
I think it's about time I was able to watch my sport in Ultra HD on my device while on the move. So give me that 5G.
Everything is going to go through our device now and can. Cool, man.
Cool. So those are some of the latest news we found from the tech world. Let us know which stories have caught your attention. And when you share them with us on social media, please, of course, always use hashtag Expresso Show.
In the national news, the National Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Kehla Sithole, yesterday said that the South African Police Service has a deficit of 62,000 police officers. And in Parliament, Police Minister Bheki Cele said the greater community also needs to take a stand against crime. President Cyril Ramaphosa says that he will testify with a great deal of pleasure before the Commission of Inquiry into State Capture should he be called to give testimony. Ramaphosa says anyone that has something to put forward to the Zondo Commission should never hide. On the international front, Zimbabwe has declared a cholera outbreak in the capital Harare after 20 people succumbed to the disease and more than 2,000 were infected by drinking contaminated water. Zimbabwe suffered its biggest cholera outbreak in 2008 when more than 4,000 people died. And then finally, an overcrowded bus plunged into a gorge in southern India yesterday, killing at least 55 people and injuring several more in one of the worst such accidents this year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi described the accident as shocking beyond words. Well, that was your 7:30 news update. I'll have a full bulletin for you at the top of the hour.
Starting with football locally, Kaizer Chiefs have been found guilty by a PSL disciplinary committee for fan violence that took place during the Nedbank Cup semi-finals back in April. As punishment, Chiefs will play 3 of their matches behind closed doors. In Spain, claimed back-to-back wins in the UEFA Nations League as they crushed Croatia by 6-0 in Alicante last night. Now the results, Belgium beat Iceland 3-0 while Hungary edged out Greece 2-1. And finally in Formula 1, 2007 world champion Kimi Räikkönen will be leaving Ferrari at the end of the 2018 season to rejoin with his old team Sauber, with 20-year-old Charles Leclerc taking his place doing a team swap. We'll expand on those headlines on the top of the hour.
Let's bring you a quick traffic update on your Wednesday morning, starting off with the roads in Gauteng and Buccleuch. Now on the N1 southbound, there's been an accident. It's near the Marlborough exit, causing heavy delays from the Buccleuch interchange. Please approach with caution. And then moving to the Western Cape in Kuils River, there's an accident between Van Riebeeck Road and the R300. That left lane is currently obstructed, so you can expect delays. That's where we leave your roads, but let's take a look at your temperatures. And we first want to say thank you to Stanley Berg for sending us this beautiful sunrise from Beaufort West in the Western Cape, where you can expect today clear but cold conditions, reaching a maximum of only 21 degrees. But looking at the rest of the temperatures across the country, we start off in Polokwane. Your minimum for this morning is 10, your maximum 29. Mbombela 13, 34. Pretoria 11, 27. Johannesburg 9, 26. Mahikeng 6 with a high of 30. Klerksdorp 6 reaching a high of 29. Kimberley 3, 26. Bloemfontein a cool 1 with a high of 25. Richards Bay 17, 31. Pietermaritzburg 8, 31. Durban 17, 27. Mthatha 9 with a high of 28. East London 12, 22. Cradock 3, 23. Port Elizabeth 11 with a high of 19. Partly cloudy in George today, a low of 10, a high of 18. Sutherland 1 with a cool 14 as a maximum. Cape Town can expect some rain today, a minimum of 12, maximum of 15. Worcester 8, 16, Springbok 3 with a high of 18, and Uppington 6, reaching a high of 24 degrees Celsius. If you would love to send your sunrise pictures, feel free to do so on the Expresso Morning Show Facebook page. We would love to see your sunrises.
So, are you the smoothest fan of the biggest stars in Mzansi? Well, prove it by entering SABC1's new Smooth Fan Show. Now, Tropica Smooth Fan is looking for the smoothest fans of some of South Africa's biggest celebrity who will put their skills and celeb knowledge to the test.
That's right. The contestants need to prove that they are the celebrity's smoothest fan by answering the various trivia questions in the fastest time to ensure a win. Now, the show will uncover some fun facts about some of Mzansi's biggest celebrities, and then the contestants need to know that they stand a chance of winning incredible prizes such as home appliances and cash each week. Each of the celebrity's smoothest fans will make it to the final for the ultimate grand prize of a vehicle and all of 250,000 rand.
Boom.
Yo!
Boom. So today I will give you the scoop on one of the 8 celebrities, and it's none other than Latoya Makhene. Now, of course, you know her. Yes, she portrays the character of Tsidi on Generations The Legacy, and she's also part of Nubia Youth Development, which is an organization that helps to get the youth out of the streets and encourages talent as well. She started appearing on TV at the tender age of 9, performing as a duet with her father at the Africa for AIDS concert, and she also did the closing song for the Commonwealth Games. She's been featured in Leon Schuster movies, Mr. Bones to be specific, and also was a voice used for the main character.
Oh, wow. We love Latoya. Yeah. Well, now, how do you enter to stand a chance of winning the title of Latoya's smoothest fan? Well, buy Tropica and follow the entry details on the bottle. Select your favorite celebrity who you think you know best to participate in the live TV quiz show. Stand a chance to win thousands of instant daily prizes and a share of 1 million rand. Buy Tropica, enter and catch the Tropica Smoothest Fan Quiz show on SABC1 from Friday, the 28th of September at 6 p.m.
Are you the smoothest fan to Mzansi's biggest stars?
Prove it by entering SABC1's new Tropica Smooth Fan TV show. Buy Tropica, follow the entry details on pack, select your favorite celeb who you know best, and you can compete on the live TV quiz show. And also stand a chance to win thousands of daily prizes and a share of 1 million rand. Enter and catch the Tropica Smooth Fan Quiz show on SABC1, Fridays at 6 p.m.
Well, still to come on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, we need to catch up with Nick Strelitz. He brings you your how-to fashion guide, and it's all about how to make prints work for you.
Oh, I need some advice on that. And then she's brought her soothing voice, and we have another performance from Nomfundo Kaluva. She's coming up after the break.
Cool. Can you do something?
Okay.
This
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Happy Wednesday, and thank you so much for starting the day off with us. Right now, about time that we tap into some international entertainment news and find out what's making headlines.
Well, how about this lady? She has 9 Grammy Awards, 2 Brit Awards, and Rihanna, who I'm speaking about, is in the running for a different kind of prize after her best-selling makeup line called Fenty Beauty was nominated for Design of the year. I mean, it's crazy.
Wow.
So Rihanna is nominated for her Fenty Beauty range and is competing against tech billionaire Elon Musk. I mean, come on. Hollywood father and son, Will and Jaden Smith. And of course, they join leading architects, fashion designers, and some of the world's biggest brands amongst nominees for the Beasley Design of the Year prize. Now, this is an annual exhibition and awards run by London's Design Museum, and it aims to highlight the most innovative and exciting designs for the past 12 months. Here's the thing, Riri's makeup range includes foundation for darker skins, and it's sold out almost immediately.
Wow.
And it was seen by the judging panel as proof that it tapped into a previously unmet demand. Now, Dayan Sujic, who's the director of the museum, said Fenty Beauty and Just Water are interesting because they are not attempts to use celebrity signature to boost the price of a product that nobody needs. Everybody needs it. So I think that that was absolutely amazing. Congratulations to all of them. And of course, Just Water was a project that Jaden Smith started, which is wonderful. Everybody thinks that he's this weird kid, but he's actually doing the most.
Yeah.
Have you heard his music though? Like,
yeah.
Oh, Jaden's, no, for me, he's rocking out.
But
like,
who his daddy is, though?
Hey?
Who his daddy is?
No, I know it's Will, but I mean, like, have you heard him?
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Exactly, you know, what you got like icon living.
They're doing the most. Well, listen to this. Charlie Puth has revealed that he tried to help Mac Miller get clean and sober before the rapper's death. Now, I mean, we did report on Monday that Mac Miller was found unresponsive at his California home last Friday morning following a reported overdose at the age of 26. Now, Charlie, the singer of the See You Again song, told the media that he had really become good friends in recent months with Mac Miller. He spoke to E! News and said that I always thought I'd be the one to help him get clean and to lead him on to the path of a good, clean, sober life. We talked almost every day, and I don't get a lot of friends who come into my life who I hit it off with so quickly. Now, Charlie Puth, of course, joins, a reel of celebrities who've paid tribute to Miller, including ex-girlfriend Ariana Grande. Now, Ariana Grande put a captionless black and white photograph of Mac Miller looking up at the camera on her Instagram account, which has also had the comments disabled. And Ariana and Mac dated for about 2 years before breaking up earlier this year. So everyone is really saddened by this. I mean, it was so sudden, no one saw this coming. And you can imagine the shock to it.
I mean, he was on tour, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he? Like currently on tour or about to go on tour. But yeah, sad how this thing turned out.
Gone too soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gone too soon, yeah.
Oh, condolences to his friends and to his family as well. But I guess good news and bad news, you've got to take each with a pinch of salt. Well, that's what we have for you on the International Entertainment News Front. Let us know which stories have caught your attention, and when you share them with us, of course, use #ExpressoShow.
For something closer to home, if you're the type of person that loves and would do anything for someone you love or something you love, then we've got the perfect story for you.
Oh man, we've had a front row seat as over the last few weeks, the Blue Route Mall has been running a series of car giveaway competitions. Obviously, there were thousands of entries. From those, our very lucky finalists were selected, so all that remained was for them to outlast each other in a rather simple task, or that's what it seemed.
They had come to Blue Route Mall to shop for a brand new Kia Picanto. The price was yet to be determined. The currency was endurance and determination.
3, 2, 1, the competition is on!
You can cut the tension with a knife. It's the last day of Blue Route Mall, so you think you can shop competition, where shoppers get the chance to walk away with a brand new Kia Picanto, and that's valued at over 130,000 rand. It is a phenomenal prize. And we have our final contestant. They've been holding on to the car for a couple of hours now, but the big question is, who will have the stamina, who will have the guts to be the last person standing at the end of the day? And that's what we're here to find out. All right, so here I am with one of the finalists, Loyiso. He chose the car door handle, my friend. But it's good. I don't feel there's anyone in front of you right now that can distract you from your task. Okay. And I mean, this is a tough one. I mean, the previous winner held on for nearly 23 hours.
Do you want to rub it in?
Right, here we have one of our other contestants, Anwar, this morning, and he is holding on for dear life as well. You can see the determination in his eyes. The fire is there. Anwar, how are you feeling, my boy?
I'm doing well, thanks. Yeah. I think it's a mental battle more than anything else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Preparation started on Monday. So yeah, since then I've just been trying to get into shape and yeah, body and mind and soul.
So here we have Heather. Now Heather looks cool, she looks calm, she looks collected. So what would winning this car mean to you?
It would mean quite a lot because I'd like to win it for my daughter.
Oh.
Yes, who's sitting and supporting me the whole day.
All right. Where's your daughter?
I'm just over there in the grey top.
Charlotte, so why this specific spot? Why did you go for the bumper?
Because I did do a little bit of research, and one of the things they said was don't put your hand at a 90-degree angle, because obviously the blood rushes down.
Right, now you know your mom the best out of all of us here, all right? Do you think she's going to be the last person standing?
I think so.
Yeah?
I really think so. Yeah, I could. She looks strong. She looks like she's got this. Yeah.
Lionel, congratulations. You've made it. You are here. You've got your hand on the car. You are in the running to walk away with a brand new Kia Picanto. How are you feeling, my friend?
I'm feeling well at the moment, yeah. But still a long time to go.
So you'll not believe what just happened. Mere seconds after I spoke to Lionel, he let go of the car. Lionel, what happened? As I turned my back and there I'm seeing you and your hand is gone.
I don't know. When I finished with you, the hamburger's been standing and it was looked quite good, and I battled to get it out and I just forgot about the car and that was it.
Henry, my friend, how do you feel about what just happened with Lionel removing his hand from the car to eat his burger?
Wow, no, I think it was very unfortunate, eh? Gee.
But I mean, it just proves that it's so much more than just physically holding on to the car. There's definitely a mental aspect here.
You have to, obviously, stay focused all the time, yeah. And focus on that hand, not just keep it there, focus on it, you know?
As motivated as these contestants were, it wasn't long before they slowly started to drop out of the running for the grand prize. The field had narrowed to just 2.
I feel alright. I feel a little tired, a little sore, but I'm okay.
I think we're both still quite strong, remarkably strong actually, and determined. So I don't know, it's anyone's guess.
I'm incredibly proud. I don't have words about this. I woke up this morning and I got a message from my dad saying that she's still holding on, and I raced over here. So I'm going to be here until hopefully she walks away with it.
Heather and Charlotte managed to hang on for an impossible marathon of a contest until at last one of these 2 Wonder Women gracefully bowed out.
I feel exhausted. I feel absolutely overwhelmed. I'm so thrilled. I'm so emotional. I'm so hungry and I'm so tired and so thirsty, and so many emotions are going on, but I am so happy that I won the car.
How amazing. And the last time it was also a mother that won, and of course, you know, that having done this for her children, absolutely amazing. Congratulations. Now, something that's also pretty awesome is that when it comes to traversing the fashion landscape, one seeming constant is our trepidation when it comes to print. Of course, we want all the fun, we want the drama, we want the statement that prints and patterns allow, but admin around how to make the right print decision is enough to put us off. Now, in today's How to Fashion Guide, we're meeting this challenge head on as we impart some trusty tips to ensure your prints work for you and not against you. Expresso's fashion editor Nick Strelitz joins us with all the details. Nick Strelitz, everybody!
Everyone, clap for me.
You know what?
Where's my in-house stalker? She knows who she is. She's not here.
Oh, is she?
Yeah,
okay.
I paid her.
All right. Do you paid her?
I did.
Do
$5
you
grand.
paid her? Wow.
Ooh, girl,
It
get
has
back
been a
to
long
school.
week.
Kids go to school. That's why this is important.
It's so good to see you. I'm so glad that we're talking about Prince because Prince can be very daunting.
It's tricky, girl.
You know, you need to do it right. So what are those trusty tips that you have when it comes to Prince and getting it right?
Okay, so we're headed into spring, summer, so we want to be bold and adventurous in our style choices.
Yeah.
And a print or a pattern is such an easy way to do it.
Of course.
So let's first start with a statement print.
All right.
So it's how do we best offset a statement print? We all have that key statement print that we want to wear either in a pant, a trouser, a top, or a bottom.
Yeah.
But how do we work it the best way? So Lee, I'm going to give you a bit of a quiz.
All right.
And you're going to see what your fashion prowess is up to scratch.
Okay.
So are we offsetting a print
Yeah.
with neutrals in white?
Yeah.
Or are we offsetting prints in similar undertones?
I feel like you could do both.
Girl, that is not what this kind of quiz is about.
Is it not?
There's a right and a wrong
Is there a right?
answer.
Okay, I
Pick
would
it.
go, if I had to pick, I'd pick the print with a neutral pant.
Girl, I love you.
Really? Did I get it right?
Chucking that. That is
you love
incorrect.
me.
So the key with making a statement print work is you want to pair neutrals with the statement print. It gives it a much needed sort of drama, but also cohesion.
Yeah.
And the trick is to have one undertone of the print in your neutral. So you
Okay.
can see there's sort of off-whites here,
Yeah.
off-creams. You don't want it to be exact because it's going to be too clinical and too forced. But how beautiful is it to have just a bit of cohesion there?
Yeah, but what I love about this is the fact that the pants is white is going to make the top pop even more.
Exactly.
Because this is the hero of this look, right?
Exactly, and that's what whites and blacks do.
Yeah.
Yeah? This is your outfit next week, Wednesday.
Wonderful. I'm so glad
you're
that
into
that's
it.
sorted.
Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the slimming effect.
Okay.
So prints are a great way to slim the body.
Yes.
But how do we best do it? What sort of a print gives us that beautiful narrowed silhouette?
Yeah.
So Lee, quiz number 2.
Alrighty. Ooh, I didn't know this was a quiz.
Yeah, girl. Are we doing compact prints?
Yeah.
Or are we doing more oversized, sort of elongated prints?
I feel like
to slim the body.
I feel like compact would slim the body.
Girl, that's my girl. That's my
You can
girl.
see I pay
Very
attention
nice.
when you talk, right?
You do.
Yeah.
That one time. I'm
That
so
one
happy.
time.
So what compact prints do is it doesn't fix our eyes to any one focal point. So it keeps it really uniform, so we actually don't know where to look. Whereas if you have prints that are maybe a bit more oversized or spacing, the eyes tend to fixate upon
Yeah.
those areas that aren't sort of our best features.
Okay.
So print really minimizes those problem areas that we want to hide.
I love this.
Me?
Yay, this is awesome.
Can you tell
It
what my
looks
problem
so
area is?
good on
that
you.
one. Okay. Last one, girl.
Okay.
We're talking about clashing prints. So big on the runways right now out of New
okay.
York are mix and matching prints on prints. Now this is a very scary proposition.
Okay.
And it's really difficult to get right. So if you want to go for print on print, are we doing compact small prints mixed with a large print?
Okay.
Or are we doing polka dots or stripes with a print? This is a tricky one. Which one should go
Wow,
in
what are you
both?
doing to me? Do you know what? Of the two, I have to be honest, I would probably do the compact on the floral shorts.
These two.
I would not do the other way around.
Oh, girl,
Was I wrong?
We were doing so well.
But that doesn't make sense to me. Explain it, so I understand.
Polka dots and stripes are the great neutralizers when it
Okay.
comes to prints. They're so accepted as perennial sort of print statements
Yeah.
that they really are used to offset a secondary print.
Okay.
It's just something that's been accepted in the sort of fashion community for years and years and years.
I love it, but I wouldn't pair it with the floral shorts.
Wouldn't do with the shorts. The thing about doing offset print on print is you have to have the confidence and that
Yes.
style swag to do it. Because if you even for a second doubt yourself, it's gonna fall apart.
Yes.
That's for the more adventurous people. Next week I wanna talk fully about how we're mixing matching prints because it's big off the runways in New York right now as well.
Wonderful. Well, Nick Strelitz,
did
you
so
have
well.
done the most. I got 2 out of 3, hey?
You did.
That's very good. High
That's
five.
a 66%. You'd still fail university.
Wow,
Yes.
okay, cool.
But love you.
Thank you so much. Well,
You're
thank you to Nick Strelitz. Making your prints works for you. That is our how-to fashion guide only on your Feel Good Breakfast show. You know what? You can actually head to Expresso's Facebook page and let us know how you will be rocking your go-to print this season.
Now, I've got to admit, I'm not quite sure whether there exists a list of the 7 natural music wonders of the world. But if such a list does not exist, I'd like to make my first submission as Nokundo Aluba. Please, the world, make it happen somewhere. Jack, Twitter, make it happen.
That's right. Well, listen, coming up after the break, Tesh and Anel are on standby to answer your culinary questions. 021-430-9881. It's the culinary hotline. Bling, ting, ting, ting. Is that what you say? Okay, well, he's singing. After the break, stay with us. Listen to your collabo. Blessings.
We've been It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast show on a Wednesday morning, hanging out with the wonderfully talented Nomfundo Xaluva in our studio, doing amazing work all across the musical spectrum. Also, just happens to be a current MBA student. I mean, where do you even find the time? Well, right now I've got all the time for what we're about to hear, a song by her called Bayatet.
The police service has a deficit of 62,000 police officers. National Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Kehla Sitole said yesterday when he and Police Minister Bheki Cele presented the alarming crime statistics for 2017 and 2018 in Parliament. Cele said South Africa has lost the United Nations norm of policing, which requires one police officer to serve every 220 citizens. Currently, there are about 190,000 police officers to serve a population of some 57 million, including the estimated 11 million undocumented immigrants. Cele said the greater community also needs to take a stand against crime. President Cyril Ramaphosa says that he will testify with a great deal of pleasure before the Commission of Inquiry into State Capture if he's called to give testimony. Ramaphosa was answering a question from DAMP Kathleen Labuschagne in the National Council of Provinces yesterday. Ramaphosa says no one should hide any information that can help the inquiry. He said it is important that the people of South Africa get to know exactly what was happening in the country. Anyone that has something to put forward to the Zondo Commission should never hide. Now moving further abroad, Zimbabwe has declared a cholera outbreak in the capital Harare after 20 people succumbed to the disease and more than 2,000 were infected by drinking contaminated water. New Health Minister Obadiah Moyo said yesterday Harare City Council has struggled to supply water to some suburbs for more than a decade, forcing residents to rely on water from open wells and community boreholes. Zimbabwe suggested, or rather Zimbabwe suffered its biggest cholera outbreak in 2008 at the height of an economic crisis when more than 4,000 people died and some 40,000 were treated after being infected. And then finally, an overcrowded bus plunged into a gorge in southern India yesterday, killing at least 55 people and injuring several more in one of the worst such accidents this year, authorities said. The driver lost control and the bus skidded off the road and toppled into the gorge. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that he was anguished by the loss of lives and described the accident as shocking beyond words. India has the world's deadliest roads with almost 150,000 people killed in accidents in 2016. The latest government data shows. Well, that was your 8 o'clock news update. Here's a final look at what's happening in the world of sport with Graham.
Let's kick it off with football first. Locally, Kaizer Chiefs have been found guilty by a PSL disciplinary committee for fan violence that took place during the Nedbank Cup semi-finals in April. Fans stormed the pitch in the dying minutes of the game when Chiefs were 2-0 down against Free State Stars at Moses Mabhida Stadium. And as punishment, Chiefs will now play 3 of their matches behind closed doors, and one of the games will be suspended for a 24-month period. Staying with the beautiful game, Spain claimed back-to-back wins in the UEFA Nations League as they crushed Croatia by 6-0 in Alicante last night. With Spain already 3-0 up in the first half, the match was all but decided. However, it got worse for the 2018 World Cup runners-up Croatia as the 2010 World Cup champions went on to score another 3 in the second 45. Now, other results, Belgium beat Iceland 3-0 while Hungary edged out Greece 2-1. And then finally in Formula 1, our 2007 world champion, Kimi Räikkönen, will be leaving Ferrari at the end of the 2018 season to rejoin his old team, Sauber. The 38-year-old will finish his second stint with Ferrari after 5 years and will be replaced by 20-year-old Charles Leclerc, who is currently with Sauber. And both Räikkönen and Leclerc will be in action this coming weekend at the iconic Marina Bay circuit for the Singapore Grand Prix. That's a wrap of our sport for this morning.
Let's take a final look at your roads, starting off in central Johannesburg in Gauteng. Now, there will be a few road closures. This is Commissioner Street, Sawyer Street, as well as Ntemi Peliso Street that will be closed from 9:30 a.m. all the way through till 11 a.m. today. And that's for a ceremony commemorating the firefighters who passed away battling the fire at Gauteng's Health Department last Wednesday. Please make use of an alternative route. Then in Highveld on the N1 southbound, there's been an accident. It's after the Brakfontein interchange and it's causing heavy delays. Please approach with caution. That's where we leave your traffic on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Don't fear the flu. Boost your immune system with Effaflu C Immune Booster by Pharmadynamics. Effective, affordable healthcare.
Thank you for the beautiful sunrise photos that's been coming through on our Facebook page. A big thank you to Jock Knutzer for your picture from Amanzimtoti, and in Durban, that's Carl Hollenby for your sunrise picture taken at Uvongo Beach in KwaZulu-Natal, and to Saki Berger from your picture in Limpopo. And last but not least, we also say thank you to Stanley Berg for your beautiful sunrise from Beaufort West. Now you can also send your sunrise photos through to the Expresso Morning Show Facebook page. But let's quickly look at the temperatures one last time. Starting off in Polokwane, your minimum for today is 10, your maximum 29. Mbombela 13 with a high of 34. Pretoria 11:27, Johannesburg 9:26, Mahikeng 6 with a high of 30. Klerksdorp 6:29, Kimberley 3:26, Bloemfontein 1 with a high of 25. Richards Bay 17:31, Pietermaritzburg 8:31, Durban 17:27, Mthatha 9 with a high of 28. Sunny conditions in East London 12 with a high of 22, Cradock 3:23, Port Elizabeth 11:19, George 10 with a high of 18, sunny in Sutherland but cool temperatures, a low of 1, a high of 14. Some rain is expected in Cape Town today, a low of 12, a high of 15. Worcester 8:16, Springbok 3:18, and last but not least, Uppington, a low of 6 and a high of 24 degrees Celsius. And that's where we leave your weather this morning on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
So, we're talking about how people say good morning in all kinds of different ways, and we all do. And I don't know, I want to start saying good morning by flashing a picture of Nomfundo in people's faces. Because I feel like she makes everything better.
And they're going to go like, oh my word, you're just ridiculous.
I'm ready. You really just make everything better. Do you know that?
Well, that could actually potentially make me very famous.
Well, we could start.
Have you always been like this? Have you always been that like ray of sunshine? Have you always been this unbelievably talented?
Well, I shocked myself to be that sunshine so early in the morning because I'm totally not a morning person. But yeah, it's just a case of like, you know, you sing and people feel the love, and so the only way to respond is just to be that sunshine, because to sing is a privilege.
So we're challenging everyone at home out there to the hashtag Baker's Good Morning Challenge. So that's for you to go on to our Facebook page and then tell us how you say good morning to those around you, whether it's family members or colleagues, and, you know, switch it up a little bit. Don't just make it a smile, you know, maybe let's like a little ka or... I don't know how people do it. There's a good morning. How do you say good morning, Nomfundo?
I just say mornings.
Yeah?
Mornings. Mornings.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then like to the little ones, we're like good morning, or like wakey wakey, time for tea and cakey, or something like that.
There's something quite teacher-esque about all of that now. I must say, it's a little bit intimidating.
Listen, I told you, I grew up in boarding school. That's how it was, you know, wakey wakey, time for tea and cakey. So I kind of do it,
And my boarding school was just a bell, like dang, 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 and you like out of bed, man. But I think the bottom line is it makes a difference in someone else's day when you respect them enough to connect with them, look them in the eyes, and wish them a good morning. Not just a morning, good morning.
Well, get yourself a Baker's Good Morning recipe and say good morning. I've got an idea. Okay. From now on, I'm going to wake up in the morning, and if you were listening to Nomfundo performing her previous song by Ateta, there's a line where she says, Dimhle, Dintombines Dima. So I want you to look at yourself in the morning when you wake up and just look at you, just say good morning to yourself and say, hey, Dimhle.
Yes.
Dimhle. Say it.
Dimhle.
Yes.
I do feel so much better.
Beautiful.
There's a new way to say good morning. Discover new Baker's Good Morning Rusks in 3 delicious flavors, now available in a resealable container.
Well, we are taking a quick break on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Princess, please may I have a yummy little cup of coffee, and you go refill those coffee cups, because when we get back, we'll take a look at the Joburg Art Fair celebrating its 11th year.
Absolutely, and then it is time for our culinary hotline with our experts. We've got Anel and Tash in the kitchen, ready and waiting to take your calls. 021-430-9881. It's the culinary hotline. Bling, ting, ting, ting.
Winner Home, South Africa's premier design and decor reality show, is back.
And this year we're coming to you from the breathtaking Parterplay Lifestyle Estate in Somerset West, developed by Baldwin Properties.
Follow 3 talented design duos as they transform 3 white box penthouse apartments into fully decorated luxury homes, one of which you could win.
My name is Koketo Marole. My name is Rekupile Belebesi. She saw me, I saw her.
together.
Magic.
Now we're here.
Magic.
My name is Nicholas Smith.
My name is Kihumila Mate.
We're not here to play games.
No games to play here. 150% or nothing.
My name is Sinead Turner. I'm Melissa Westhuizen. We're so excited to showcase what we're capable of, so stay tuned.
Watch the beautiful properties come to life as the design drama unfolds and stand a chance to win the biggest prize on South African television, your very own dream home.
Catch Winner Home from Thursday, 20 September at 7:30, only on SABC3. The stage is yours. Winner Home, proudly brought to you by Capitec and Private Property.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Call us on your cell phone.
Culinary hotline bling. That can only mean one thing. Yes, it's a Wednesday and you know it's time for the culinary hotline bling. Ting, ting, ting. Chef Tash and Anel joining us to answer all of your culinary conundrums. But man, are they looking ever so beautiful. Heritage Month. I have queens by my side, your royal highnesses. Good morning.
Bend lower.
Didn't expect that. All right. Our lines are going to be open on 0214309881. Ask us all of your confounding culinary conundrums and we'll try our best to conquer them. Wow, that was great alliteration. But are you ready to get into it, ladies?
Yes.
Okay, good stuff. Estelle from Bloom called us last week and wants to know a sponge cake recipe. And she also wants to know if she can use the same mixture for cupcakes.
Yes, you go.
All right.
Chef Tash.
Most definitely, the premixes are awesome, so you can always use the cupcake mix. But what I always do to make it more nicer and homely is to substitute the water with milk and substitute the oil with butter.
Okay.
And you must remember, when you do a bigger bake, the time increases. With these tiny small cupcakes, your bake will be between 8 and 12 minutes, but for your bigger cake, your bake will be about 45 minutes.
40 to 40. But the thing is about sponge cake, it's so diverse.
Yes.
You can lovely add some berries there at the bottom of your cupcake. You can actually put some coffee in, you can put some chocolate through it. You know, you can do all these lovely things.
So flavouring is up to you. You can do that.
Yes, and it actually takes on the flavour. It works very well with flavours. Yeah.
But I must say, I love them just like this. That special little caramel dollop in the middle. I just want to put the whole thing in my mouth because when I bite, I want to have everything just come together, right?
Get in my mouth.
Get in my mouth. All right, so that's your answer, Estelle. Do try it out, adding, substituting water for milk and butter for oil, giving you that more body. Abdul says, wants to know how to make brown bread. Well, you go buy it at the shop. No. Make your own at home. How do you make loaf brown?
Brown bread, number one, you need whole wheat flour and you need a bit of white flour. You can have both flours in it. And then you need your yeast. And you need salt and lukewarm water. And you just mix it together. But with brown bread, you don't have to knead it for a very long time. And it only needs one rise, actually.
Yes.
So what I do, I get my dough together, put it in the pan that you're going to bake it in, and then let it rise once. And then what I also do, I take a bit of flour and I sprinkle it over the top. So it looks like really homemade, like you find in the shops.
Yes.
And it's only one rise and then bake in the oven.
Okay.
So it's actually quite easy.
bread
It's easier.
It is quite easier than white bread. And the nice thing about brown bread is that, like the cupcakes, it takes on flavors and it's very nice with nuts, and you can actually add your pumpkin seeds, your sunflower seeds. It's versatile. And then you can also add buttermilk to make it extra nice and dense.
More dense. Why is white bread more difficult? It sounds like it should be the easier of the two.
I think white bread you need a lot more kneading, you know, than with brown bread.
Is white bread more needy?
Yeah, it's much more needy. It's like, need me.
All right, but a very, very simple recipe. But if I were to just go back a little bit to the steps of making the brown bread, you mentioned the ingredients. In what proportions? Is there a basic kind of scaling for the basic brown bread, and then obviously you multiply that depending on the serving that you're trying to make?
Well, if you're going to use 2 cups, which is a 500 grams, your water content, whether it's milk, buttermilk, or water, lukewarm water, of course, it has to be about 300. But with baking, when you knead, you can tell whether you need more flour or more water.
Yes.
But I always remember 5/3.
5/3.
And then for
Lovely.
that amount of 500 grams, I think a teaspoon of yeast.
Yes.
Is that will be about a teaspoon of yeast and a bit of salt.
Just a little bit, pinch of salt to your tasting, if you will. You can maybe take a little piece of the dough and just kind of taste it as well, right?
And remember, when you bake, never put your yeast or your salt on top of your yeast, because it's going to kill the yeast. So brown bread doesn't even need sifting. So put your salt, incorporate, and then put your yeast in. So make sure that...
Does white bread need sifting?
It depends what type of consistency you want. If the more sifting you do, the fluffier your bake is going to be.
All right, good stuff. A question came in from Angel on Facebook.
I like that.
Twice as nice. A recipe for brinjal soup.
That sounds amazing.
Oh, yes.
Immediately my head goes to Morocco if I think about brinjal. And what I will do, I will fry some onions, I'll add some cumin, temper some cumin, coriander and some cinnamon. Then I'll fry the cube brinjal in there. And then I'll add some tomato and make like a lovely tomato soup with it. Are you salivating?
I am rather, yes. It's sounding amazing.
And then when you serve it, I'll serve it with a bit of Bulgarian yogurt or a bit of cream with lots of fresh chopped coriander.
Yes.
Brinjals are very absorbent.
By the way, this is a brinjal, everyone. That is a brinjal, also known as an eggplant.
As an aubergine. It's as the name says it all. It's got a lot of personality, so it takes on more flavor. As you can see, it's very spongy. It's very spongy. It's very awesome for a roast. And when you roast it over like 20 minutes, you scoop out the flesh, blitz it, fresh cream, chili, mushroom, fresh herbs. It's amazing.
Sounds so good. All right, if you have a brinjal recipe or brinjal soup recipe of your own, share it with us on our social media pages, Facebook and on Twitter, of course, using #Expresso Show. We'll be back again with the queens of the Culinary Kingdom on the Culinary Hotline. Bling! Ting, ting, ting!
Ting, ting, ting. That looks so delicious. Now, you have to agree with me. Art plays such an important role in our lives, in the way that we see it, the way that we feel about it, and the way that we interact with it. And that's what makes the Joburg Art Fair so interesting. The interaction and the experience that they give is just out of this world. Check this out.
Now in its 11th year, the annual Joburg Art Fair is a must attend. The event sees about 10,000 people over a 3-day period, celebrating artists both locally and internationally. And a main focal theme this year has to be how artists are documenting history and social changes in our world.
The event attracts a wide audience beyond only visual arts and spreads a diverse Joburg Art Week of open studios, workshops and debates across the city.
Mandla, talk to me about the history of the Joburg Art Fair. When and how did it come about?
It really came as a result that we didn't have a platform in this big city of ours, Johannesburg, where artists could congregate, collectors could congregate, the community could congregate to look at art, to buy art and to learn. So that's was really the driving force behind it being set up.
The art fair is in its 11th year now. What can people expect from this season?
I'd like to believe it's the best show we've ever produced. It's very reflective of the city where we live. We're a very Pan-African city. People from all over the world live in the city, so the show is very much a reflection of that. But also the content is very strong, so we are dealing with some heavy issues. Yeah, and I think it's a fair for everyone. You know, there's different content, there's different materials that are being used, and it's an exciting couple of days.
Among exciting creatives and galleries from across the continent, one South African who stood out was Billy Zangewa.
Billy, this is a very interesting exhibition you have here. I'm loving the whole jungle feel. Talk to me a little bit more about your work.
My installation is called The Garden, and it's basically a recreation of my own garden because my work deals with my personal life and intimate moments in my intimate private space, and I wanted to bring the viewer into that in a three-dimensional way.
Why would you say the Joburg Art Fair is such an important platform for artists?
It's just a beautiful event, and it's happening right here in our city in Johannesburg. It's not like you have to fly off to Europe or America to do it. It's Africa supporting African art.
Gives you a space to show your work and exhibit it to different collectors, curators from all over the world. And also it allows a space for people to come see work who don't usually go into gallery spaces. This work is titled Adrift. This one specifically is made out of used engine oil, so it's a very alive substance. So when I put it on the surface, it's very wet and it soaks into the surface and it's unprimed, so it seeps down the canvas.
Joburg Art Fair is a massive stepping stone for artists to get exposure. The number of visitors is more than you would see sometimes in the whole year at certain galleries, and you get that in 3 days. So I think platform and visibility are the #1 things that make it important for artists.
And Jabulo, you guys are responsible for helping emerging young artists. Tell me more about that initiative.
So basically what we do is find up-and-coming visual artists and help them penetrate into the market. So how that normally works is you either need a gallery or you need to get your work out there. So what we do is find you while you're still up-and-coming, maybe straight from tertiary or you're a self-taught artist. And we create exhibitions, pop-up exhibitions in and around Johannesburg. So that's how we ended up here. So the whole theme was just basically speak out and saying, you know what guys, here we are. This is what South Africa is capable of from all corners. It's not just Joburg or Cape Town.
Reaching across borders through the universal language of art was work from Namibia, Zimbabwe, Ghana, Australia, Uganda, Mozambique and more.
We work primarily at the moment, all Ethiopian artists. The artists that we work with, you know, they're mostly younger, emerging artists that do a lot of contemporary stuff. We are also excited, you know, to be here in the Joburg Art Fair because this is our 3rd year and this is the 3rd time we're showing. In particular, Adis Gazahi, who has been warmly greeted here by art lovers, and we look forward to keep coming back here.
This is our 3rd year presence here, and in bringing this project, 3 masters and 1 emerging artist, I believe that we're helping in this diplomatic role, ambassadorial role, so that South Africans, not only collectors, but the general public, can discover what is and what identifies Angola and the Angolan contemporary art.
Fascinated international curators from institutions like Tate Modern were here to learn as much as to lecture.
When you walk through here, you're completely inspired, but also there's a lot of work here that is educational. People can get to understand our history, get to understand some of the challenges that we faced with today, and also to project into the future.
I must say it's really nice to see how the Joburg Art Fair has grown from strength to strength over the years, as well as diversified while giving young artists the platform to really make a name for themselves in the industry. I'm really keen to see how it grows further in the future. Well, on that note, like the famous saying goes, let's continue to make art and not war.
I love it. We're going to take the quickest of breaks. When we return, we're going to discuss, Zoe and I, with an expert, what your water intake means for your sleeping patterns. Really interesting.
Very interesting indeed. And the Culinary hotline, it will be back after the break, as well as we'll spend some time in the kitchen making corn and samp risotto with Parmesan shavings. That's coming up after the break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Call us on your cell phone.
Culinary hotline bling.
That can only mean one thing. When you join us on a Wednesday, Chef Tash and Anel Potgieter joining us for the Culinary Hotline Bling. Sing, sing, sing. The queens of the Culinary clan are here to conquer your conundrums. We've got a caller on the line. Ronnie. Yeah, Ronnie. Like Varney. Is it Varney?
Yes, it is. Good morning, cats.
Good morning. I'm so sorry, Varney. It took me a few tries.
That's all right. All right.
What's your culinary conundrum?
I would like to know the substitute for an egg in a flapjack.
A substitute for an egg in a flapjack. Fantastic question. I didn't even think that they could possibly be.
Yes. I would suggest you use a half a banana. You can always replace the egg with a half a banana.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So the egg obviously is the binding element that brings a lot of the dry ingredients together. If you're not going to be adding some milk to it, I'm assuming.
Well, I was going to say if she's worried about being vegetarian or vegan for that matter, then your mixture can always be done with water. And there are now substitutes in the shops for eggs, vegan eggs. So it's not a proper egg. It's a mixture that you can use to bind your pancakes and to bind your bakes.
Okay. Vani, I'm going to throw something into the suggestion pot here. How about, and it could be kind of gross, but avocado?
Oh, that's gross.
No, but
Avo is brilliant for bakes, actually. It adds on to the creaminess. Remember, it's got that buttery texture. So when you mush your avos quite nicely, but you need to do it with an electric blender so that it's a very, very smooth consistency and you don't have lumps in your bake.
Okay,
but is it going to bind it? Is it going to bind?
It will bind, same as the banana texture. Remember, the banana has got that water consistency and it's mushy and creamy.
The one thing that's worrying me right now is that avocado left over a long period of time oxidizes in air and goes brown. Will it go? Okay, so you can lemon it, and then when you put the flapjacks in the pan, they should be fine. They'll be green, but they won't be.
Remember, when you blitz your when you bake, you mix your ingredients quite nicely.
Yes.
So if you are going to remember if you don't use your lemon zest because your bake is gonna taste of lemon.
Yes, exactly.
You don't want the oxidation to take place. So you do the things that make the avo not to turn brown, but a little bit. Just
Try it out. Try one batch of flapjacks with the banana and the other with the avo. Please let us know how it turns out, okay?
very much, Cap.
Thank you very much for that call. 021-430-9881. You can give us a call. Have a wonderful day, Bonnie, all the way from Durban there on the line. Then, let's talk about braaiing, because we love to braai.
Yes.
Some of the most important elements to remember when you're trying to braai the perfect steak or chop. What would you say is your best advice, ladies?
Yes. I would start first to have quality meat. From my side, just get good quality meat at room temperature. And it needs to be dry.
So stop being the guy who pulls the meat out of the freezer and then you put it straight onto the fire.
Exactly. Yeah.
Room temperature.
Yeah, just get it to room temperature and stuff. And then you've also got lovely ideas.
Yes, the most basic thing that people don't do is to clean your grill. Because if you don't clean your grill, it still has the residue from your previous braai. When you do that, when it burns, it's going to create a very nasty taste in your mouth. Because it won't give it a nice char. You know?
Is it enough to clean your grill with, like, because I've seen how much they're doing it, goody braaiing, with a newspaper, just Is that enough? Or with the onion, just when the grill is hot, just people burning their fingers while they're trying to put a fork through it, and I don't know. Is that enough?
For me, not quite. You literally need to get rid of that residue. But the onion, if you do it properly and you get everything off, remember it's got a little water, and it will, the heat from the coal itself will disinfect your braai. So as long as that hwasha removes everything.
It's a thing now.
But not newspaper.
Get yourself a proper grill scrub.
It's worth investing in.
It's worth investing,
Okay, cool. A quick question from Tanae in Durban, who asked, how do you know when your steak is ready when you're cooking it? Is it the finger test, the classic finger test that it depends on how you like your steak, really? So what, this is rare?
That's rare.
Rare.
Oh, this is rare.
Rare.
So if you feel your steak and it feels like this part of your hand, that means it's rare. If it feels like this,
medium rare.
Medium rare.
Medium.
Medium.
Medium well.
Medium well.
Well done.
Very
well done. You can even.
There's another one with your face as well.
Your face?
Yes. This is rare.
So don't smile.
This is rare.
This is rare.
This is medium.
Medium.
This is medium well.
Medium well.
This is very well. Well, I have a big forehead with no meat. So
that's keep going with your friends in the pool.
It depends on So like, hey Margie, how did you want your steak? Well done, let me feel your face. Wait. Can we please do this one question? I know we're running out of time, but we're trying to make veggie braaiing for the vegan people out there, or people that are trying to get into the plant-based diet thing, right? Take a red cabbage, cut it up like that. What are we adding to it?
Yeah, we're going to add some soup, a packet of soup and some of your choice.
Cream.
Yes.
And mix it with fresh cream.
Quickly do it. We just want the theory behind it. Mix it with fresh cream.
In foil.
In foil.
Close it up on the coals for 40 minutes.
At this time, of course, your fire is already going, right?
Yes.
And you do this before or after you braai your meat?
Well, no, this is 40 minutes, so time it. So if you do steak, definitely this is go on before.
Cool.
Definitely before.
So check this out very quickly, and then you're going to pour that into the foil there, place it onto the grill, 40 minutes, bada bing, bada boom. The queens of the Culinary Kingdom have conquered it all. Thank you for your calls. We'll see you again next week on the Culinary Hotline playing Sing, Sing, Sing!
Being well hydrated is vital for good health. Pure Life Mineral Water, made with love by Clover.
So here's an important question. Struggling to get any quality sleep but can't figure out why? Well, it might be time to consider how much water you're drinking throughout the day. According to the National Sleep Foundation, hydration plays a major role in helping your body fall asleep. This is news to me. So if you're already dehydrated at the beginning of bedtime, you run the risk of snoring and morning hoarseness and just ultimately dehydration throughout the night. So if that's not enough, your body naturally dehydrates while you are sleeping. So thanks to Nestle Pure Life Water, we're finding out this morning how you can hydrate for your best sleep of your life. We've got Amanda Ferreira here to kickstart a conversation that unbelievably, we've never actually made this link before, which is amazing to me.
I think it's incredible, but I mean, I have woken up a few times, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, with a bit of a headache the morning of or after a nap. What is the connection between hydration and dehydration and the effect it has on your sleep?
So, you need to remember that the brain is about 70% water. So as soon as you're dehydrated, it's going to affect the structure of your brain. Your brain actually shrinks a little bit, and it affects all sorts of things like your concentration, how tired you are, your visual and your mental acuity. And of course, because your brain controls sleep, dehydration then affects your sleep. What also happens, which is quite interesting, is dehydration affects your pineal gland, which makes melatonin. Now, melatonin helps you sleep by impacting your circadian rhythms, which also impacts your sleep-wake cycle. So, dehydration has many effects on the way that you sleep.
Sure.
I just want to grab that bottle right now and just like go. How does your body, obviously you've covered it in a broader sense, how does your body lose so much water throughout your sleep cycle, and what can you do to balance that out?
Oh, so many ways. So do you know how much water we should be drinking every day?
About 8 glasses, 2 liters.
The Institute of Medicine actually recommends between 9 and 13 glasses. So that's a hang of a lot of water. So that's sort of where it starts. So losing water when we sleep happens because the water gets lost through the skin, transdermal losses. If you're breathing through your mouth, you lose a lot of water that way. You're losing about a third of your day when you're not taking in any water at all. So not only are you losing water, but there's a period when you're not taking in any water at all. And if you compound this with the fact that you have salty dinners or sugary desserts or a glass of wine before bed, this is all incredibly dehydrating.
Okay. Now, speaking of dehydrating, what exactly happens to the body when you go to bed and you're dehydrated? What are some of the signs and symptoms for us to look out for, knowing that, you know what, I'm actually dehydrated right now?
So, like you said, waking up with a headache is a really good sign. Waking up with a sore or a parched throat, with a bit of a croaky voice, fatigue during the day, and actually snoring is quite a sign of dehydration while you're sleeping, because water lubricates all the channels that keep you breathing when you're sleeping, and dehydration affects that and causes snoring.
Are you a snorer?
I'm not.
You're not?
No.
I think I might be, unfortunately. I think I might be a snorer. This is the messaging that I get. So there are a lot of misconceptions, and I think I fall victim to a lot of them about dehydration. What are some of those big kind of fallacies out there when it comes to dehydration that you've encountered?
For me, the biggest fallacy is that dehydration occurs as a sort of end stage, final symptom of not getting enough water. But dehydration happens really, really quickly, and it's estimated that most adults are walking around with a bit of chronic dehydration. It only requires 2% of dehydration in order for it to start affecting your brain. So that just shows you how quickly it happens. And in fact, a good rule of thumb is if you're thirsty, it's too late. You're dehydrated. So you need to drink in anticipation of thirst and not as a result of thirst.
Oh, see, I'm guilty of that. I drink because I'm thirsty. Amanda, any parting advice for, you know, people struggling to fall asleep, and especially people struggling to take in that, I mean, you're saying 9 to 13 glasses of water.
Do we need to be on a drip at night while we sleep? I'm getting a bit concerned. Yeah.
No, listen, your body actually has mechanisms to prevent dehydration when you're sleeping. It releases a molecule called vasopressin, which hangs on to water in your body. But if you're not drinking enough water throughout the day,
it's nothing to hang on to.
No, exactly. So you need to keep hydrated through the day. Tips about a glass every 1 to 2 hours should do the trick, and that's kind of manageable. Yeah. Carry a bottle of water around with you. If you struggle, research actually shows that flavored fluids are easier to drink. So make some homemade iced tea with like some nice berry teas or lemon teas. Get some sparkling water, get some fruit-infused water, but make it delicious, make it desirable for you to drink.
Okay. And make it mainly water.
Yes, make it water.
We're not talking about soft drinks here.
No, you're not talking about coffee. You know.
We really want the water. So rather than chugging down litres of water first thing in the morning or downing a bottle of water right before you go to bed, space it out consistently.
That's right. Amanda, thank you for joining us. And chances are that if you focus on hydrating properly over the course of a week, you'll find that your sleeping troubles will fall by the wayside. Now, who knew that water could be a solution for insomnia? I mean, learn something new.
It's effective and has 0 negative side effects. So drink up. I'm going to do that right now.
That's a big one.
Being well hydrated is vital for good health. Pure Life Mineral Water, made with love by Clover.
I don't know what's been going on in Expresso the past few days, but it's a carb festival, and we are here for it. Chef Tash is still with us in the house. And after the break, we're making a delicious samp and corn risotto with Parmesan shavings. Oh,
wow. Yum,
it's absolutely
yum,
amazing.
Yum,
hey?
Tash. Well, also coming up after the break, Nomfundo Kaluva is still with us in the building. She's going to be performing for us. So stay with us on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Young, gifted and black. Oh, what a lovely, precious dream. To be young, gifted and black. Open your heart to what I mean. In the whole world, you know, there's a million boys and girls who are young, gifted and black, and that's a fact. To be young, gifted and black, we must begin to tell our young there's a world waiting for you. Yours is a quest that's just begun. When you're feeling low, there's a great truth that you should know, that when you're young, gifted and black. Huh? It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you.
Oh, well, listen, it is, welcome back. It's that time of the morning for us to wish you a happy birthday if today is indeed your birthday, the 12th of September. And we're going to take a moment to take a look at some of the celebs celebrating their birthday. But of course, you are the hero this morning. We want to wish you a happy birthday.
Correct. The first birthday wish is for Kim Namjoon, main rapper and leader of the global K-pop sensation BTS. Kim Namjoon celebrates his birthday today. The group recently had a massive comeback, breaking records with the African-inspired hit song Idol featuring Nicki Minaj. Check it out.
Just to give you an idea.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Another singer celebrating her birthday today is Jennifer Hudson, who's shot to fame when she won the Academy Award for her role in Dreamgirls.
Correct. And also Lee Hayden Boats. Finally, we'd like to wish a special happy birthday to Lee Hayden Boats, who's turning 1 year old today. Ma Josie and Pa Vendel, love you lots, Lee Hayden.
Oh, that's absolutely adorable. And then Sadia Bremer Adams would just want to wish her son, that's Israfil Adams, a happy 6th birthday for today. Your mom hopes you really enjoy your day today.
And Warda Abrahams would like to wish a celeb, South Korean rapper Kim Namjoon, who we already did, of the South Korean boy group BTS. Shout out to the BTS South African Army. Lots of people showing them love.
There is a massive BTS army in South Africa. Then also we want to wish Charlene Williams, in fact, would love to wish her son Cameron Jacobs a happy 21st birthday, a very special birthday indeed, and we certainly hope you get spoiled rotten today.
Deborah Mitchells would like to wish her big girl, Tian Mentor, a beautiful crown birthday today, which means she's turning 21. There's that key.
Oh, there we go. In fact, well, crown birthday is 12. The 12th of September, she's turning 12.
Oh, yes. No, she's turning 21.
Okay.
And I don't know. Yeah.
But
okay.
last but not least, we also want to wish Alton Williams from your sister Monique Bosse. She says she hopes you stay the amazing father, brother, and son that you are. So happy birthday to you.
That's right. Well, that's our bite size of birthday wishes for today. If you are celebrating a birthday or know anyone that is celebrating theirs and you'd like to give them a shout out live on the television, why don't you let us know? Hashtag Expresso Show. We're going to have some cake on their behalf in the meantime. Thank you, Princess.
So the ladies are having a very deep discussion here. Mfundo joins us. Tash is back. We're in the kitchen. We're making the most exciting vegetable risotto. We've got our Rhodes quality corn, and it's sweeter than sweet. We've got some samp that is looking just so shining, and it's like you polished it beforehand. But this is really cool because we're exploring our heritage and really loving and appreciating this. But what were you asking her? What advice were you looking for?
I asked her, like, is it soaked? Because you can see apparently it makes it
looks very pretty.
Did you paint it? And I was saying I'm not very good at cooking which is white. Yeah.
We are here to teach. Well, I say we. Tash is here to teach. So thank you so much for joining us. We're going to pick up some awesome tips here, but take it away, sister.
Yes.
We are making something that looks
Today
awesome.
You are going to learn how to cook umnosho, but we are putting in a je ne sais quoi in the musho omhlophe. So we are quickly going to fry our onion. Okay, let's heat it up a little bit.
Go.
Okay, we've got garlic here, so please, you can. I normally hoy in the kitchen.
Okay.
So you are going to
I'm just hoy. I can hoy.
Let me help
And that's a lot of garlic, eh?
It is a lot of garlic, but then that is white wine. Okay. So you can hoy that in as well.
Hoy it?
Gradually, though. Yes.
You're not allowed to have a sip. Only after 12 o'clock in the day are you allowed to have a sip before you introduce it. Tash, I would imagine that the aim here is to cook off the alcohol early in the process.
Yes. I was going to say, don't be scared to feed this to your children because the alcohol cooks off. But what we are looking for here is the flavor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've got to add the acidity as well.
Yes, definitely. We put in the musho omhlophe. Yes.
The musho omhlophe, they say.
Musho omhlophe.
That's what's up.
So this is vegetable stock that we are going to put into our samp. Please pour it in for me.
Tash, what makes a good vegetable stock? Because obviously, when we speak about veggies, often the flavor gets sacrificed for the health.
Yes.
But that's the whole point here is with a good stock, it's all about the flavor, surely.
It's all about the flavor. You are quite right. I prefer homemade everything. So homemade, you know exactly what goes into your food. So the basis of a very good stock is something called a mirepoix. So a mirepoix will be your carrot, your onion, and your celery. So that is the basis of the flavor of your stock. Really, and whatever vegetables you want to hoy in there, you can hoy. But make sure that you cook it very, very simmer it. Don't boil your stock so that it's cooked very nicely.
Infuse those flavors.
It infuses those flavors.
Your gooi there was the most tentative gooi I've ever seen. You're like, should I? Yeah.
I don't know like that in my own kitchen.
This kitchen was built for gooing. Okay, yes. What's next?
So now that needs to be in the pot for about an hour.
Okay.
And we were actually saying that if you want your samp to cook very quickly, you soak it overnight in water. And what that does, when you clean it, it actually removes the outer skin of your samp and it cooks very quickly.
Take some of that starch out. Okay, yes. I get that. So the key word here is Rhodes, if you'd like us to send this recipe with a bit of je ne sais quoi, as you say. So what's the next stage taking it to this beautiful end result?
We've got our corn that is ready here, that has cooked in the vegetable stock, and we're going to put in the wonderful Rhodes quality quality,
Beautiful.
sweet, beautiful corn. And then we are going to put in our cream as well as our herbs. Please help me with the herbs.
I'm going to do something quite dramatic here. I'm going to ask you to swap that pot around, and I'm going to grab this pot.
And then put that in there.
So the viewers can get the benefit of seeing this delicious creation come to life.
This is thyme and parsley. Thyme is a very universal herb, so you can put it in anything. It goes with meat, it goes with veggies. I even put it in my brandy sometimes.
To bake with. To bake with, she's saying, okay?
Yes. You can
Oh man, this is coming together beautifully, and then obviously, finally, once it's all done and it's gorgeous and it looks absolutely amazing, a couple of Parmesan shavings there.
Yes. Parmesan gives it that, it seals it off. It seals it off. It takes it to Italy. But we need to bring it back to our heritage, which is the mosho omhlophe.
Oh, I absolutely love it. The keyword again is Rhodes to 33728 if you'd like us to send this recipe with a little je ne sais quoi directly to you. I feel like a Mad Libs dubbing coming on here. Oh, so that is our recipe for the day. Hopefully your experience in the kitchen won't be quite as shocking. It looks amazing. And Mfundo, you reckon you can do this?
I just did it. I cooked this dish by myself from scratch.
Let's point it together. Hopefully that inspires you to do the same at home.
Rhodes quality for the love of food.
All right, calm yourselves down there in the kitchen.
Good.
Yeah, listen, we're all about spring cleaning, and of course it's about refreshing your home after a long, cold winter month. Now, making rooms look bright and clean and inviting means that everything needs to be cleaned and spruced up, and this includes curtains and slip covers as well. You can't leave those out.
You cannot. So this is what we're going to help, give you to help you spruce up your home. Now, MAC Auto Washing Powder contains a highly effective active detergent combined with a range of enzymes to efficiently clean and safely remove dirt and stains. MAC Auto is formulated to give top performance in your front loader. Did you know that MAC hand wash powder is a super strong detergent with a high foam level to thoroughly clean and remove stains when washing by hand or in a top loader washing machine? And also, for that final touch, use MAC Soft Fabric Conditioner right here to restore the drape of your curtains and finishings, leaving them well conditioned and soft to the touch and smelling pretty amazing.
I'm glad you mentioned the curtains, because sometimes I think people kind of leave those to the side, because your curtains and your furnishings are your personal signature in your home, if you think about it. Curtains in particular require regular cleaning because they are subjected to harsh elements like the sun that shines in, there's the dust that's also on them. So there's possibly that exposure to direct sunlight that could also cause the dyes in the curtains to degrade, which may result in them fading in color and that color running during a wash, and you don't want that.
You don't want that at all. No.
Exactly. So before loading those curtains into the machine, give them a good shake to get rid of the dust, then turn those curtains inside out with the lining on the outside. Then roll them into a soft bundle and place them into the machine. And unless you have a very large washing machine, it's advisable to wash curtains individually. Use warm wash, neither hot nor cold, to promote good cleaning without any fabric damage. And of course, you add MAC Soft Fabric Conditioner to the final rinse, and then simply doze into the machine in the normal way. And then after spinning, hang the curtains inside out still to dry before then pressing them and rehanging.
Absolutely, got to look after those curtains. Now, these fabrics collect dust, so shake them vigorously, like Kat said, before washing.
Get the arms involved.
Exactly, get in there. Now, the top strip and hems of these curtains are always very dirty naturally, so you may wish to pre-soak in a strong solution of MAC Auto, remove excess water, then place the curtains in a pillow slip to prevent snagging, and then load loosely into a drum using a 40-degree wash. You may also wish to add a hand towel into the drum with the curtains. This balances the drum when the load is quite light.
I never thought of that.
I know, right?
Okay.
This is why we're here.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
this is why we're here. And then, of course, add MAC Soft Fabric Conditioner to the final rinse. This is really important because why? It restores the fall of the fabric and it prevents static. Nothing worse than static.
You don't want your curtains going
after exactly. No. And then, of course, you can preset for an extra rinse and then press lightly while it's still damp.
Yeah, of course, furnishing fabrics are not always washable, so check those labels for instructions, and if in doubt, opt for dry cleaning because you don't want them to be ruined. Now, load loosely and use a cool wash, and then set an additional rinse and use a medium spin to take care of those fabrics. Add MAC Soft Fabric Conditioner to the final rinse and realign and condition the fibers. That, of course, helps with that.
Very true.
Now, when removing the damp covers from the machine, shape the covers by hand and dry them flat to prevent any distortion, and, of course, iron them while damp.
I didn't
That's
know
very
that
important. Yeah,
part.
it makes it a lot more difficult when you iron them dry.
Oh,
because
it's
then
like
you spend a lot more time with heat, and that could result in that glossy
like
kind of look on them.
cardboard sometimes.
Yeah,
It's
not
terrible.
really cool.
Anyways, final tip. Duvet covers are washed more frequently than curtains, and as a result, there is often some fading naturally. It's advisable to wash the curtains at least as often as the duvet cover to return the same color intensity.
Yeah,
There you
because
go.
you usually buy your duvet covers matching your curtains, so you don't want, like, over time your covers look older than your
I
curtains. 'cause they haven't been
know,
washed
I
at the same
know. And then
time.
you just have to buy everything, and it's,
All over
you know,
again.
oh,
Yeah,
I'm
well,
just
that's
gonna get
exactly
a whiff of this
how
while you...
Mac makes your wash day a little bit easier, and we're making it easy for you to win a Mac hamper every single week, and to stand a chance of winning, SMS the keyword Mac to 33728. Are you right there?
It's really good. I love the smell, though.
Those SMSs will
Wow.
be charged at R1.50 and no free SMSs apply. T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com, and this week's giveaway ends at midnight this Friday, so go out there and get entering.
Get a whiff.
Okay, I can see
Good.
why you were so
Yeah.
obsessed. Yeah, okay.
So good.
All right.
MAC Soft Fabric Conditioner has fragrance pearls that pop as you move to keep you smelling great for whoever you want to impress.
All that talk about washing makes you want to head off and just be here. Washing, hand washing. Well, still coming up after the break, Nomfundo Kaluva is still in the building with us. She's signing us out with Young, Gifted and Black. Stay with us.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and it's been so feel good because of this lovely lady next to me, Nomfundo Kaluva. Of course, catch her performing live on the 28th of September at the Joy of Jazz Festival, which stretches across the 27th and 29th. Lots of great performances that'll be taking place. Of course, you can go online for the information. But right now, signing us out on this Wednesday morning. Wise words, young, gifted and black.
Young, gifted and black. Oh, what a lovely, precious dream. To be young, gifted and black. Open your heart to what I mean. In the whole world, you know, there's a million boys
Expresso Morning Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.